Wendy Bell Radio is live.
See, I didn't do it today.
I know. I
I
didn't
was
want to
digging
make
my
people wait.
fingernails into my hands, so I wouldn't do that. You know, I would get the giggles when I would be on TV.
Oh, that has to be
And
the
the
worst.
co-anchor and I would start getting punchy. And when you start giggling at stuff, and they're like, in 3, 2, 1, and you're like, I have
7
scars.
people dead.
I have scars in my. Literally, I would just dig my fingernails into my hand to be like, "Hey, Murtech," and just I could be like, ah! It was the worst. So I tried very hard there. I know.
That would be
Fabulous.
3, 2, 1, 7 dead and a bus rollover.
It's so bad, and it would come up at the worst times.
Of course.
Not, it would never be during one of those sorts of things, but it would be in bad news. And
It's
you're
like a coughing fit on the radio.
Yeah, it doesn't happen during the commercial break.
Never.
It happens when I take a deep breath and like a piece of spit flies into the back of my
Oh,
throat, and I go,
do tell. This is so interesting. I'm gagging on the lies of the government.
I'm telling you. Okay, let me tell you guys about the Wellness Company. And you know how I feel about them. I very much enjoy the Wellness Company. Look, their stuff is expensive, but when I'm trying to get ivermectin, I'm not trying to get like super cheap and sketch. When I'm looking for a parasite cleanse, because there's a lot of jazz in us, thinking about worms or other things, thinking about other stuff like vaccine residue, you need to know what's going on. Well, this ultimate spike detox from the Wellness Company. We all like to think COVID is behind us, but the effects are still lingering in the body. What if they're still lingering in the brain? A new study from NYU found something pretty alarming, that people suffering from long COVID showed changes in a part of the brain responsible for protecting and cleaning brain tissue. And researchers are linking this to chronic inflammation and early warning signs of Alzheimer's disease. Like what? This may help explain why more than 20 million Americans are still dealing with long COVID symptoms, including fatigue, shortness of breath, brain fog. This is where the Wellness Company's Ultimate Spike Detox comes in as a possible solution for you. Created with guidance from Dr. Peter McCullough, this formula was designed to support the body's natural detox process and inflammatory balance. It contains 4 times the nattokinase found in most spike products, along with bromelain, turmeric, and selenium to support circulation and cellular cleanup. If lingering inflammation and spike protein exposure are part of the problem, supporting your body's detox systems may be one of the smartest things you can do. So give your brain a break. Get your bottle of Ultimate Spike Detox today, twc.health/Wendy. Use my name, get 10% off. I trust these people. I have a whole cupboard of their products, and I have that badass survival kit, the box, right? Like if the whole world is falling apart, I'm running upstairs and I'm grabbing it and we're going. So I'm not joking, and they're not either. twc.health/Wendy. Okay.
So for all you on Rumble, Michael started putting up shorts, and we don't have a shorts section yet.
If you can
check
like
'em out.
it, if you can like it and whatever to it, that kind of pumps us up a little bit in the world of Rumble. But did you guys see yesterday, the stream charts showed that it's not we because he's not a woman, but I'm the top ranked female Rumble podcaster.
I'll take a little credit.
And I'm not trying to cut you out because I'm merely saying that. Now, we could also be more serious and be like, well, yeah, we broadcast on average 3 times longer than everybody else does a day. And so the numbers are going to be saturated in our favor.
Not really.
Anyway, but if you guys aren't showing up, you're not showing up. Right?
Ultimately, if we were an hour long, you guys would watch for an hour.
Right? So I'm deeply grateful, you guys. I know I say it all the time, and you're probably like, shut up already. And I get it, but no, I'm not gonna.
Wow. Well, that's one way of handling it.
Right? We had a special little slice of ire today, didn't we, Brock?
I do.
This Dignity Act. Dignidad.
In a different language.
How about that? What's that word in Spanish? How do you say suck it in Spanish? Suck it.
See, I think that's a universal English phrase. Everyone
Mhm.
understands.
100%.
It's like what is it? Fungu is Italian.
I don't know.
Everybody knows what it means.
Is that, do people actually say that? Because
Oh,
I
yeah,
do.
I hear it.
Really?
I learned it
I
off my
thought-
sister-in-law.
I thought I made it up.
No.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
I'm so cutting edge. Fabulous. Usually I'm the last to know everything.
Number
What are we
one
talking
female
about?
streamer. Now she's making up languages that already existed.
What's our timing here? Oh, okay. Here we go. Brock, I mean, no. I was off by a minute. I was discombobulated.
Okay.
So I beg your pardon.
Don't scare me like that.
Middle finger salute. Right on. Hey, thank you for your chitter chatter over here in the comments, too.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Hey, I say it's pretty easy. Common sense, conservative values delivered by a mom. But you know what? There are not a lot of people like me out there on the airwaves, which is why I think this is a really unique opportunity for you and for me to get together every single day and talk about what matters. And what matters isn't the garbage that the media wants you to talk about. What matters is that you and I together are on an awakening journey. And sometimes it sucks. And most times it's disappointing, but it is so necessary. And I'm going to give you that moral encouragement today. I'm going to give you the kick in the butt that you need because I need it too, and you give it to me. So wendybellradio.com. That's how you follow along the live video stream. I'm fabulous, so you have to. And just thank you for being here. I hope you come back tomorrow and bring a friend. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. I had a great occasion yesterday to speak to my oldest son, Michael. He's 26. He lives in Tampa. And I think he's living the reality all of your children who are in the same group, same situation. They're all kind of in this mess together. So graduated from Clemson University with a degree in psychology. I always wanted him to be a teacher or some kind of an educator, or at least nudge him in that direction because he is a really great communicator. And children love him. And he's great with them. And I could just totally see it. Except school was never his thing. The system annoyed him since he was very little. And I think he could see at a very young age. He could see what education was, and it annoyed him. So he did what, of course, his parents expected him to do, and he went to college. I'm not so sure he was really all that invested in it, kind of wondering, what's this going to do for me? Graduated with this degree in psychology. I thought that might open different doors, and it will. It'll all come through. And a friend of his asked him if he wanted to move to Tampa and live in an apartment, live in a home with him. His parents helped him buy a house, multiple bedrooms in the house, asked a bunch of the high school friends, you want to come down and try something with us in Tampa? And I was so proud of my son. He absolutely said yes, packed up his car, and off he went. Now, he works for me loosely, but this is not a job anybody gets rich off of. But it was the beginning. And he pays something like $1,100 a month to stay, literally waterfront in this beautiful house in Tampa, Florida. And he realizes very keenly that he's living the dream. He's not really hurting for money because he doesn't have huge expenses, but he realizes that things are about to change. His friend who owns the house has a serious girlfriend, and she's going to move in this summer. So the roommates, the good old high school friends, are all now in a position to move out and begin the next chapter in their story. And he's very aware of the challenges, but he's also aware of what he wants, what he doesn't want, and how it's so damn expensive to find a place to begin your journey when you're in your young 20s, mid-20s. So we talked on the phone yesterday, and I said, Michael, what's your view of all of this stuff going on? This Candace Owens and Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and all these voices coming out and basically just ragging on Trump and going this full different direction, all of them at the same time, which is just so remarkably ridiculous. And he said, I don't believe anybody anymore. I don't trust anything that anybody says. I'm so tired of being disappointed. I'm worried about how I'm going to move out of this sweetheart of a rent deal and get a place of my own. And beyond that, I've said to him before, have you dated? Are you dating? And he's like, well, what am I going to give? What do I have to offer a young woman? I don't have a house. I don't have a job in which one provides benefits. He's doing fine. What am I bringing to the party? And I want to say no. It's not about any of that. Do you have any idea how your father and I started? This is the age at which my husband was when he met me. He was in medical school. I was a television reporter for NBC in St. Louis. I think I was making a whopping $50,000 a year. Joe didn't even have a salary yet. He was getting through medical school, and then he was going to go work as a slave, as an intern in his residency, right? And somehow we saw, this is something that we could make work. And so we did. There's never enough money. It's never the right time. The stars never seem to align. And you know what ends up happening? As those become some of the best years of your life. The best years aren't necessarily the twilight years when you're done working and you can travel. How many people die literally right after they retire? How many people retire and have no idea what to do with themselves? When you're young and you have energy and you're broke, there's something that's almost unstoppable about you. Well, what do we have to lose? What the hell? Let's just go for it. Is there time now? Is there money now to have a baby? No. Is there time now, money now to have another one, or another one? No. No, there's not. Do it anyway. The universe will take care of you. I promise you, Michael. And I understand your frustration with all of the things going on in this world. See, you were raised at a standard that you'd love to be able to duplicate and provide for a wife and children. It's not how it works, my man. That's not how it goes. There's crappy apartments and lousy landlords. There's learning about credit card debt, bouncing checks, or even checking your account balance. There's the real world of taxes. And oh yeah, the uber sexy stuff like insurance. None of this is what any of us hopes to graduate from college and get a fantastic job right away with 4 weeks of vacation or 401k and by golly, a track to the stars. It's not how it works. You work weekends and overnights and holidays and strange hours. Son, you've watched me wake up in the middle of the night. You've watched me come home at midnight. You've seen your father get paged in, called into the hospital during snowstorms, all manner of reasons. It's not pretty. It's not perfect, but it is. These are going to be the best years of your life. Please don't be sour on the government. It sucks. Do I trust in this president? I do. Do I strongly believe the majority of people around him suck? I do. I do. I believe you're in the middle of a chasm, hun. You went through COVID. You got awakened. You got to see people lose their minds. And you survived it. You didn't just survive it. You carved your own path. You're like, I don't want to work 9 to 5. I don't want to punch a clock. I don't want to sit behind a desk. I don't want to be beholden to somebody else. I want to go do what I want to do. Son, you're already living the American dream. It's not about what your bank account says. It doesn't matter what your address is. Every single day that you show up, every single time you go the extra mile, every single time you dared to dream, every single opportunity you have to blame somebody else, but you don't. You instead find a workaround. That's victory. And no lawmaker, no media hack, no podcasting jerk, nobody out there who's so desperate for your attention is going to change that because it's in you. Look, to America's young people, these are odd times. I give you that. But we're working so hard to write it for you. I fight every day to share with you the things that I think we need to know. Every single time I come up and take a swing. And I don't always connect, but by golly, I'm freaking in the game because I believe in you. I know you're going to make it. And I believe that the future of this country rests in your hands. Don't give up. Don't lose your faith. Find your resolve and dig in and plow ahead and be you. That's all I got. And never forget, I love you. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, hey, a new poll shows what we all know. We all agree on the exact same stuff. So why is it that Republican lawmakers are giving us the middle finger? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. $20. Wow. I'm already getting you guys throwing money at me. That's great. Keep it up. Oh, John. Wendy is America's mom fund. That's so cute. All right, let's go. So I hope you guys got your sniper. I hope you got your harmony. I've gotten some great people who are like, I got it. A lot of people did. These sales actually work. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Everything on the site is fabulous. I just wanted to say thank you guys for supporting us. And remember, wendybellradio@gmail.com, wbrbrock@gmail.com. Share with us your perspective, right? Share with us your thoughts after you get the product and use it. You're going to love it. So I can say you're welcome in advance.
Yeah,
That's
send them to
what
me.
I know. Yeah, probably send sniper ones to Brock.
I think he's going to put testimonials on the website. So I can just forward them to him.
How about this? Brock made me a cocktail. You guys want to see it? Do that. I'm drinking my Native Path. I forgot my tumbler. So I have my Native Path mug, and it looks like it's yeah, it looks like it's got like maybe some tequila in it or something. No, it's not. It's Blood Flow 7 and it's collagen. All right,
no,
so
it's not.
If I it's
MTC Wellness.
It's
the healthy fat.
The healthy fat. I want to tell you about the collagen thing that I'm doing. If you don't investigate collagen, first of all, it's ridiculous affordability. And also how necessary it is. So the cartilage in your knees, do you get crackling when you walk up the stairs? Crepitus, it drives me crazy. I do. It helps with that. It helps with the wrinkling of skin and all this jazz. It helps with your hair, your skin, your gut, your clarity, your focus, all of this stuff. It's like wondrous. And the kind I'm using every single day, 10 grams, is from Native Path. GetNativePath.com/Wendy. Their prices are already ridiculous. They're like, we love your people. How about we go up to 45% off? I'm like, done. GetNativePath.com/Wendy. I'm not going to stop. I think this is one of those things that we can do on the cheap that has definitive results. Google it, check them out, read about the company, GetNativePath.com/Wendy. Oh my, they're the real deal. I'm very, very fond of this company. I wouldn't be drinking out of their coffee mug. It should have a little umbrella, right?
I left those in there to continuously stir it. I put ice.
So good. And our Iceman ice maker, gosh, they have to come back. Those jerks. And I used the Obliterator 8000 yesterday.
Obliterate.
It's so great.
This bumper music was for before the show.
Aviator, thank you.
You guys were not here for it.
This is my high school picture. It was like this, except without all the Aquanet. Oh my goodness. So Brock plays a little jungle for us. I had my hair down earlier and I look like a lion. So he decided to give me a little theme music.
It was literally everywhere, touching both sides of the wall at the same time.
Oh, stop it. Okay, so there's this new poll out. And I think it's great to start today's program with just a base level of where we all are. Because as I say to you every day, this program is nothing but common sense, conservative truths, right? Through my eyes. And I don't lie to you, okay? Voters tie government fraud to rising cost of living as Trump administration expands the war on fraud. JD Vance is doing all this stuff. There's great developments. Probably going to give you a segment on all of that tomorrow. But there's this new poll and I want to read it to you. New national survey finds voters increasingly view fraud and misuse of taxpayer money as a major factor driving higher costs for families as the Trump administration expands its anti-fraud campaign ahead of the 2026 midterms. Trump administration understands what's going on. So what happened to Doge? Why did that just disappear? What, 150 or 180 billion dollars of fraud and waste and abuse that was identified in the first 6 months of this administration, that was enough, and so it just got disbanded? Right? If all of us agree, the less we get stolen from, the lower our costs will be. Where's the mystery here, right? The March survey conducted by Deep Root Analytics for the State Financial Officers Foundation, 1,000 registered voters, found that 87% are concerned about fraud or misuse of taxpayer money in government programs, including 50% who say they are very concerned. This isn't some like tepid issue. This is wild, hot potato. Pay attention to us and knock it the hell off. The poll also found that 83% of voters believe fraud or misuse of government funds contributes to higher taxes and higher costs for families, either a great deal or a fair amount. When asked which issues should be top priorities for elected officials, where do you guys think rampant illegal immigration fits, or gun control, or LGBTQIA plus rights, or what have you, abortion, all of the climate change, all of these things, right? Hugely important to us. Of course not. Of course not. When asked which issues should be top priorities for elected officials, 89% of voters rated lowering the cost of living as a high priority. 84% said making communities safer should be a high priority. 80% said protecting the country from international threats should be a high priority. And 65% said enforcing immigration laws should be a high priority. Is that confusing to you guys? Because none of this has ever been confusing to me, which is why I ask every idiot sanctuary city mayor or governor, why? Why? Vast majorities of us tell you every day. So why don't you listen? Why is the Republican Party working so damn hard to stop President Trump's mass deportation agenda? They want to just go poof and say all of these people who've been breaking our laws for years, who've had ample opportunity to become American citizens, but chose to live in this country as illegal aliens, that all of a sudden now they should just be granted some kind of a legal status, as though it's just going to be too hard to flush it all out. So, yeah, rather than really doing that, it's sort of like the Senate. Yeah. I really don't want to miss my spring recess. I've got a nice trip planned with the kids. So, yeah, I'm not really thinking we're going to come in and talk about the Save America Act. Where did that go, by the way? Anybody heard about it recently? All of a sudden, nobody cares anymore about the most basic piece of legislation ever, which becomes this huge conundrum for everybody. Wait. Oh, my gosh. Proof of citizenship to register to vote? That's outrageous. Wait, whoa. It's worse. You've got to show a photo identification card of yourself in order to cast a ballot. This is outrageous. Please. Meanwhile, are you kidding me? 80% of people say 83% fraud and misuse of government funds contribute to higher taxes. 84% say making communities safer should be a high priority. Fund ICE. How about that? 80% say protecting the country from international threats should be a high priority. Fund DHS. And 65% say enforcing immigration laws should be a high priority. Yeah. How about that Dignity Act? Yeah, that doesn't add up to us. This isn't complicated. You're on the right side of all of this. And the sparse few ne'er-do-well nincompoop losers out there who want to run around and make you believe that you're in the minority because you love your kids and you care about your family and your future, and that you're okay with paying taxes as long as you're not getting bent over and paying taxes for everybody else to break our laws and get creme de la creme services that we would never qualify for, tapping out. You're not alone. Again, to my son, Michael, and to all of Generation Z, we're fighting for you. I swear to you, we are. But you have to be invested in the fight. You have to be a willing participant. You have to pay attention to what's going on so that you don't let history repeat itself. This president is trying to do a great reset, not only by obliterating for the next several decades any kind of threat, nuclear threat, that would keep you up at night, but also setting you up for the golden age. You just have to believe. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, they called him a dictator for bombing them, then a coward for agreeing to cease fire. So what do Democrats want out of President Trump? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Someone in the chat, sorry, I think it was Jenny 4848, said we shouldn't pay taxes for 5 years. I'm going to go one more step than that.
Uh-oh.
And say, why don't we not pay taxes or pay the bare minimum of what we need to survive until they get their under control?
The Dignity Act, the Dignidad Act that we're going to talk about, which is just the most ridiculous punch in the face to President Trump from Republicans, knowing full well that we voted in a president who ran on two things: costs and immigration. Get them out. Why would you get behind a measure that contradicts that? It's a very interesting and eye-opening thing. These people are showing you their true colors. And these votes force them out of the shadows to show you who they really are. Who owns you? Which lobbyist? Which PAC? Which donor? Who's promised you something? What's going on? Because you're not voting the way we want you to. And last time I checked, you work for us. Let me tell you guys about, I had a great conversation with Tulip Blooms yesterday, and they're so excited by you guys. They've had really great success in this opening campaign. I've never bought essential oils for my skin, and I feel kind of dumb for it now because the things that I've been sampling from Tulip Blooms, and we're going to roll things out for you. We're going to have a Mother's Day, my favorite gift package. We're putting together my favorite things in a Mother's Day package that I think is just going to be off the charts. But they gave me this Blue Calm face serum. This stuff is, it's actually an extraordinary little jar of heaven. Okay. I want to tell you quickly about this. It's designed as a soothing, elegant oil serum experience. It's light on the skin. It's calming in feel and luxurious in finish. I'm just going to say, I used to think that would be kind of gay to say something like that, but I 100% agree. It is absolute luxury. A silky high-end oil profile built for smooth glide and a soft, elegant finish. Why it stands out. The key ingredient in this is called blue tansy. And it brings a distinctive, calming, aromatic personality to it. It's true. You put it on your face and it gets into your nose and you're just like, It's got other products in it. And prickly pear, it's got all these different ingredients that add all these certain feelings to you after you put it on. I put it on my face and it's weird because any kind of discoloration I have or like weird pigmentation, it sort of like goes away. And everything just sort of like settles down. And I put it on after I wash my face at night. And I put it on in the morning before I go to the gym. And it is absolute heaven. It is the Blue Calm face serum. Read about it. It's got things in here that I can't pronounce, but this is the kind of product that feels polished from the first application. It feels like it's right. And it doesn't leave you feeling greasy or looking slimy. It just absorbs into your skin. And I'm like, especially on your neck. Blue Calm, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I'm just going to be telling you more about these products because I'm trying all of them. And very excitingly, we're going to be introducing my own fragrance through it in one of those little rollerball dabber guys. And so we're working on it, coming up with blending the ingredients. So I'm really excited for it. You don't get one? I don't know.
Get one for dudes?
I don't understand how even that can become a victim for you. It truly is mystifying to me how you can pull that crap off.
Well, it's not all for the ladies.
Are you negotiating with, are you the one who's managing the account? That's what I thought. There you go. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. This, and by the way, you're like, that's a small bottle. It don't take a lot. It's magnificent. You know, if you've ever been to if you've ever been to Bedford Springs Resort in Bedford, Pennsylvania, and you like the smell of the spa, you're going to enjoy all of this stuff. It just smells clean and fresh. Love it. I hear you putting your meat hooks together with all that stuff. Is that what they're called? Hey, Aviator, thank you for the 20.
I don't know why we have to market it just to the
1.5. Let's get up there, guys. Look, we have 4,000 people tuning in right now, which is not great, but you guys are the greatest audience. So I'm super pumped by that. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. I'm going to let you know what's happening, but I'm pretty sure the Irelands are going to be putting in 8 new skylights and a new roof at some point at my house. I'm going to go out and start selling plasma and something like that. What can I sell? I can't do my ovaries anymore. I can't do that. Those are prunes. Anyway, Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They're just great people. And when you're ready to do a home renovation on the outside, you want somebody you can trust. And it's Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. A lot of rando roofing companies driving around my neighborhood. And I want to like run up to my neighbors and be like, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You're so much better. All right. Somebody say something nice about me. Let's go.
Wow.
I know it seems very directed to the younger among us. I mean, it's all of us. It's super hard to be awake. It's super complicated when you snap out of hibernation. It's very frustrating to realize just how much you've been let down, just how much the people that you hope will do what you would do, how they don't do it, how you can't depend on them, how their word doesn't mean anything. And then these ridiculous games in Congress, the debauchery, the corruption, the sex, the alleged drugs, just the despicable cesspool of ew. And then you consider what you do every day. When was the last time you called off sick? Right? When was the last time you were like, I don't really feel like it? It doesn't matter. I've been married for 28 years. I can tell you how many times my husband is called off sick at the hospital. 0. 0 days. 0 days. There's no time for you to be sick. And yet we've got a Senate that by and large works a third of the year, if we're being generous. And in lieu of their payment, they shaft us by never listening to what we demand. And our demands are not difficult, right? Everybody's willing to pay their fair share. I don't know anybody who's like, oh, I'm not going to pay. Screw everybody. Oh, no, we get it. But we're not going to be your whipping boys anymore. You can't blame us. You can't milk us anymore. There's no more to give. Now is the time for Congress to be exposed for its own incompetence. And it's very disappointing every day to see it. It is necessary. You have to. We all must. It's almost like we're sitting in a theater and there's a terrible movie on. And sadly, we had to pay 10 times more than we wanted to, right? There are no concessions and the movie sucks. It's in another language and there aren't subtitles, right? That's what we're sitting through. And we're like, what are we doing? Meanwhile, you've got the family members of Iranian elites living in the lap of luxury here in America. You have some immigrants who are basically saying fungu to the American taxpayer. We don't care about you or your culture or your family or anything. We're here to make money. Suck it, really. And you wonder why a lot of us are now like, ship them all out. I don't care. I'm not down with your sob story. You had every opportunity to become an American citizen, and you chose not to. And now we've got a Congress who's burning the midnight oil, not for you, not for the stuff that 83% or 84% of us agree on. No. Working for the illegals. Make that make sense. But you know about it now. All right, let's talk about this that President Trump truthed out. He was kind of on a tear in the last 24 hours. He says all U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger than anybody has seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all of the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resting, looking forward actually to its next conquest. America is back. This is how the president has to handle international instances like war. Don't believe the fake news. Don't believe the leakers. Don't believe all of the people who want you to think one thing that's not true. We have broken them. This is the final opportunity. This is the time to negotiate. And if you fail to take my olive branch, then we will finish the job, which is kind of a good place for the president to be, right? We agree to the ceasefire. We agree to not obliterate civilization, if you took that literally. Let's agree to diplomacy. And if that doesn't work, then good night, Gracie. Okay? How do you disagree with that? Trey Yingst over at Fox, he says, look, Iran put out all sorts of fake news propaganda. They're the ones, of course, that put out the President Trump agreed to Iran's 10-point plan, which involve, paying reparations, giving money so that they can rebuild their country, letting them charge all of the tankers going through the Strait of Hormuz, and most richly, agreeing that Iran can continue its enrichment of uranium. Like, in what world was that even remotely possible? It wasn't. And yet all of these news outlets ran with it. What? Here's Trey Yingst about that leak from Iran, the propaganda.
The Iranians are trying to put out disinformation already. And yesterday we reported on a 10-point plan, and I'm told by a U.S. official that that was actually an old plan that the Iranians put out because they wanted people to talk about it and try to put their perspective forward. And so we are correcting that today, and we spoke with U.S. officials yesterday who said that is not the latest plan. There is an updated plan that the president agreed to, and despite these efforts by the Iranian regime to try to spin negotiators, this will be incredibly consequential this weekend to see whether or not they are serious about creating a good faith deal.
Anybody have good thoughts on that? Like, I have no idea what to expect. My initial gut reaction would be, of course not. In no world would a radical, Shia cleric who believes in death to anybody who is not exactly who they are or doesn't convert to that. I'm not really sure they're going to be like, okay, all right, you got us, uncle, whatever. No, we blew up. How many people? Their children are still out there. Those people are going to want to grow up and kill us back. You got people who are like, kill everybody. Like, whoa. We really just want them not to get nuclear weapons and stop trying to kill everybody. How about this? Here's something from PBS. I'm sure this is right down the middle, considering all of our millions of taxpayer dollars funds this ridiculous fake news outlet. Here's your headline today from them. Not championing, you know what? A ceasefire, possible peace deal on the horizon, weekend talks scheduled in Pakistan, J.D. Vance, Witkoff and Kush. No. This is the headline. How Trump went from threatening Iran's annihilation to agreeing to a 2-week ceasefire in a day. I love that. I love that Trump is up and down and in and out. I love that he has fiery truths. I love that he'll drop a swear word every now and again. Because what does it do? It's the proverbial slap against your face. Whoosh, wakes you up. It startles you. It's like, wait, what? What's he talking about? So we basically got Iran into a pickle. Try me. Whatever you decide, we're going to end up winning. Try me. Do you want to survive? Do you want to live another day? Or do you want to have certain annihilation? Because we will annihilate you. Which one is it? PBS isn't happy with that. Oh, no. First we went to war. That was bad. And then, oh, my gosh. Then we destroy their Navy, all of their military stuff, right? And now there's a ceasefire. It might be over in like 40 days. That's terrible. What a coward. And I'm like, look, I'm done with being on your yo-yo. The reality is, what does the media want? What does the left want? Anything that ruins Trump. I'm not even going to read you. Well, here we go. President Donald Trump, over the course of a day, went from threatening Iran with annihilation to proclaiming that the battered Islamic Republic's leadership had presented a workable plan that led them to agree to a 14-day ceasefire that he expects to pave the way to end the nearly 6-week-old war. Yeah, that's what I want. I didn't want to be in Afghanistan for 20 freaking years. I didn't want to be in Vietnam for 20 freaking years. And for what? For what? 42 days? And you can't have a nuclear weapon? And the world can get its oil? And maybe the Iranian people can live freely for once in their freaking lives? Maybe they can get connected, get internet back, maybe get some running water, get some food, maybe something. It's very interesting to me. Jake Tapper had Mark Rutte, NATO Secretary General, on yesterday. And basically, Rutte was like, and he and Trump appear to be friends, but it was an Oval Office friendly meeting, he said, but it was private. And I'm sure Trump was like, look, dude, I'm tired of paying into something that doesn't come up and protect us. What are we paying for? And so Jake Tapper was like, do you really believe that this is good for the world? Do you really believe that that this is the end of the story? Listen.
Is the world safer today than it was before the war was started?
Absolutely. Because, and this is thanks to President Trump's leadership, degrading these capabilities is really very important for your and my safety here in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East.
Like, Jake Tapper, how do you not see that? Why is your seething hatred of this guy cloud your vision about what is good for America? Or are you simply a tunnel vision schmuck, right, who has spent the last 25 years polluting the airwaves with a farcical idea of reality? We don't want your woke garbage. I don't want 20 million people who ought not be here being here. And by the way, we're tired of our sons and daughters getting murdered by criminal illegal aliens that your freaking sanctuary friends give solace to. We're done. Do you not understand? No, they don't, which is how you have 20 House Republicans trying to push some garbage, claiming it's not amnesty, that would basically shake the etch-a-sketch of 17 million illegal aliens who had every opportunity to go down the path of citizenship and chose not to, and to shake it and be like, whatever, you can be legal. It's cool. I'm sure nothing bad will happen from that. But I guarantee you they won't be voting. Right? I mean, am I wrong here? Of course not. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, like, why would Pam Bondi not be forced to testify before House Oversight? Because she's not Attorney General anymore? Does that mean she has no knowledge that would be worthwhile? Where's all of the Epstein files, wackadoodles? Are they out there with the vagina hats? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. God, I got a little fiery. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say, very refreshing, very useful drink here. When I drink my Dr. Gundry's, we put it on ice. He shakes it up for me. We add some of the collagen. Fabulous. I'm not hungry until 5 o'clock at night. Literally 5 hours. Done. If hunger or cravings is your jam and it completely thwarts your weight loss plans, and you have a significant weight to lose. Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds drinking what I'm drinking. And it's like, that's ridiculous. Nobody drinks a drink and loses 70 pounds. Yeah, you do, because when you drink it and you're not hungry, you don't eat. There you go. There is the mystery of MCT wellness. But here's what I like about it. It supports you and your gut and your brain and everything else while also going to your belly. Love it. It's a dietary supplement right here. Supports production of ketones for more energy, MCT and polyphenols to support brain health. Oh, yeah. And you lose a lot of weight. That's a nice little benefit. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. That's how you get it. I just ordered 3 more jars. That's how serious I am. That is my drink with the collagen, my drink. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. And thankfully, too, because we are here for 5 hours at a clip. And I'm not hungry during that. Thanks, Dr. Gundry. All right. I was telling Brock today, I'm like, I don't know if I have anything to talk about.
What were you telling me?
I was saying that I was not digging this show today, that I just felt like I was kind of adrift at sea. Like this Dignity Act. Do you know how
Ugh.
many pages it is?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
It's a ton.
Like I have to go and see if it'll come up and show me how big it is. Verifying that you are human. All right, Bill, how do I
It
read
didn't
it?
give a page.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, listen. Oh, I could have. Let's see. Oh, my. Let me see if I print it, what it says. 131. 131 pages. If brevity is the soul of wit, then we've got a bunch of morons in Congress.
No, I can independently confirm that.
Right? We're going to water you down with all sorts of mumbo jumbo. It's like your Verizon phone agreement. You're like, it could say in there, and you're going to give me $1 million. And you'd be like, whatever. Right? Just activate my phone. It's so bad. This is so bad. I'm really fussy. Can we get 2? Do we have 2? We don't have 2. You know, if Bill Clinton had to go testify before House Oversight, right? Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Help me figure out this logic. Why would not Pam Bondi now be forced to do the same? Oh, she's not Attorney General anymore. So it's not really as relevant. No, it's absolutely relevant. If anything, it's even more relevant, right? Well, Bill Clinton's not president anymore. So why did he get called in? It's not relevant anymore if you're not in office. Of course it's relevant. Don't you see how fickle everybody is? It's like we're almost like little butterflies. I'm as guilty as anybody, right? We flit around from idea to idea, subject to subject, and it seems like nothing ever gets fully pollinated. And we're all just kind of sitting out here in a field of dandelions going, really? So Pam Bondi now, former Attorney General Pam Bondi, will not appear before the House Oversight Committee on April 14th, after all, to address the Epstein files, the panel confirmed on Wednesday. The Republican-led panel subpoenaed Bondi to testify last month amid scrutiny of the Department of Justice's handling of the Epstein files and their release. I would like to know, why did you give everybody those binders, right? You were on the job for like a hot second. You're like, this is a great idea. I'm not going to look at any of this information before I put it in these binders and distribute it to a bunch of social media influencers and create a photo op situation that was impromptu but happened anyway. And they're all walking out of the White House with these binders that had nothing new in them. Like, what? My question, what? Pam, love you to death. What the hell did you think you were doing? Did you open the binder? Did you see what was in it? Because that was like highly disingenuous and super suspicious. Day number 1. Everything else after that, the files are on my desk. Well, actually, they're really not. Why would you say that? Well, I thought, no, you're the top law enforcement person of this country. Doesn't that involve like a little homework, a little checks before you open your mouth and go to Fox News? The Department of Justice has stated Pam Bondi will not appear on April 14th for a deposition since she is no longer Attorney General and was subpoenaed in her capacity as Attorney General. An Oversight Committee spokesperson told CBS News. Where's James Comer? Where are you, James? You're all over the place. You were all over the place investigating the Biden crime family syndicate. Right? You had all sorts of stuff all over X on that for months, years on end. And thank you. Nothing came of it, but okay. Where are you on this? Spokesperson? Well, she's not Attorney General anymore, so we really don't care. Are you kidding me? Ma'am, what did you learn? What did you know? What's being hidden from us? What's the top secret stuff? What do you not want the American people to know? There are a million questions. I could do it right now without notes. Well, no. I don't understand. I don't understand how they don't think that we see this in a very suspicious way. Transparency isn't just when it benefits you. It's when it also makes you look terrible. And it's part of the deal. Isn't it part of like the oath thing where you put your hand up and the other on the Bible? Isn't that having like Wonder Woman's lasso around your waist? You're now relegated to telling the truth. It is beyond your control. Or you just do what everybody else does and just lie all the way through it. Like, this is what we're watching. The abject incompetence of anything that Congress does to get across the finish line or to do one of anything to benefit us. Do you guys learn anything through the Epstein stuff that was beneficial to you? Were you shocked to find out that Bill Clinton's a scumbag and that Hillary Clinton pretends and lies at all times? Was that a huge shocker to you? Like, really? No. None of the victims has been compensated. You can't go back and erase what happened. We have no idea definitively who Jeffrey Epstein was whether he was CIA or Mossad or what have you. Like, what do you know? You just know that you had a smokescreen to try to smear President Trump so that he would not win re-election. It's a game. And then who gets lost in the balance? You, victims. Why don't they ever fight for us? Why don't they ever fight for us? Pam Bondi not testifying makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm not so sure if she's corrupt. I don't know if somebody got to her. I have no idea if she's working behind the scenes with Jeb Bush and, Mitt Romney and Mike Pence, right? To create some break off of the Republican Party or break off from this Make America Great Again movement. I have no idea. But I do know that it would have been fascinating to find out what in the hell she was doing for a year and 3 months with all the files. So all of that was bluster, just like the White House ballroom mumbo jumbo. A reason for a quick click, for a headline, for a little cover, a little smoke screen, while we continue to be completely ineffective at the United States Congress. That, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, is the one overarching truth here. So, to all of the young people out there who see all of these social media influencers, podcasters, right-wingers out there chirping this and chirping that, and you're so sick of it, welcome to the club. See? We're right there with you. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. In 4 minutes, Republican Mike Lawler gets absolutely torn to shreds by a woman I don't even care for. And she's brilliant. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Well, she's really not employed by us anymore, so. Well, Donald Trump wasn't president anymore, and they had to raid his house to find stuff, right? So how can we not ask questions? I don't know, guys. It's all very curious. What is not a mystery to me is that when you do have questions about important stuff like money and savings and retirement, it's nice to be able to talk to somebody who can give you a great historical analysis of why buying perhaps gold and silver or platinum and palladium is a great idea. It's just a phenomenal hedge against inflation. It's a great bet. If you put all of your eggs in the stock market, when something like 1987 happens or what have you, and things go haywire, yeah, you're left as a huge loser. Something really interesting about the value of gold. It has gone up 7,000% in the last 50 odd years. That's pretty remarkable. Doesn't look like it's all of a sudden going to stop climbing either. So 855-927-5557. That is my friends. Those are my friends at wendylovesgold.com. Texas Bullion Exchange. They walked me through it. They taught me 2 or 3 times on the phone with them. Listen to what I wanted to do, what Joe and I wanted to accomplish, how much money I wanted to spend, what I could get for that. And they put together a portfolio, sent it to me and said, what do you think? And I'm like, great. And then what? A week later, there's a knock on the door and it's the UPS guy with a very heavy box. That's how it worked. 855-927-5557. Ask about the Principal Protection Program because it is unlike anything else you'll find at another gold investment firm. WendyLovesGold.com. have so many papers here. I feel like I need to do some shredding. What's going on out there, guys? How are we doing? Did we hit 2? Oh my goodness. Can we hit 2, please? We need 170 people to click that thumbs up. And then Scooby on over to the follow button. We send you nothing, right? If you want, and this is interesting, the old timers here, the frequent flyers, P1 listeners know this already. But if you're ever interested in my rundown, look, and this is what it looks like. It's got all the segments blotted out. It'll focus. There you go. That's what it looks like. Every single link, every sound bite, everything. So you can basically fact check me. So you can go back and be like, or you're like, Wendy had a very interesting story on, and I want to read more about that. If you're a Locals member, it's $5 a month, best deal in town. And we throw in 2 months for free because we're dumb. But $50 for a year, and you get access to the rundown every single day. So 3 hours, more like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours before we even go on the air, you have access to what our entire show is. That's risky because any nincompoop out there can get it and put their own show together, but they're not fabulous, so I don't have to worry about it. What are you doing? Working. I have this coming out during that thing. Felt like a spider on my neck. It's always a good feeling. See, because you guys voted and said I should grow it out, we're going to soon walk into that ugly phase where it goes.
You're not getting a cut and color?
I'm going to get it colored, but I'm not going to get a cut. I'm going to get a trim, but not a cut. No. All right, let's see where we are. I love you guys.
If this new, I don't know, what do they call it? The act?
Dignity. And they have such stupid names, right? There's nothing dignified about it.
No,
it's a cop out, is what it is. It's a freaking congressional cop out.
It's again screwing the American people. How it's any different than opening the border and letting people come in, I have no idea.
17 million people, possibly. Yeah, it's just one of those things.
It's just you've been here for 20 years. 15 years.
So I asked the Perplexity, and I like Perplexity, pplx.li, whatever it is. I use it every day. They were a sponsor of ours for like 3 minutes, but I enjoy the product, but it's biased. It gives you liberal talking points. And then I respond to it. Why are you giving me liberal talking points? And it's like, I'm sorry that you think that, but blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's not, tell me why conservatives are unhappy about this. Oh, then it starts telling me what it's all about. I'm just going to say that I don't see anything that's beneficial for America in here.
I don't see anything beneficial towards you.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's what we are, right? Did your air just come on?
Yes.
Scheißers. Wow.
I look at it this way too. If they make a commercial about it to push it down your throat, it's no good for you.
It's like that. It's like that one ad that all the media were saying about disinformation.
Yeah.
Right.
It's no good for you.
And you're like, because we should trust the media about disinformation.
If Congress is pushing anything other than the Save America Act right now, it's not good for you.
No.
Period.
I agree.
I hate everyone.
Wow.
Present company excluded.
Oh, you probably hate some of them too out there. Probably.
Probably hate who?
Some of these people out there.
You people. No, just if they're pushing it.
I agree.
I ain't for it.
I agree. It's all very sus.
The CARES Act.
Again, yeah,
Bullshit.
it's all BS. We're going to rape you blind act. Then you're like, well, at least you're being honest.
Right?
We're going to bend you over and take everything you've got act. Okay? Now we're starting somewhere.
At least I know I'm getting screwed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of gold, truth, and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program was live. Next to my Magic 8 Ball, I think the best thing, well, and probably next to Slinky and Stretch Armstrong, I'm going to say that the Etch-a-Sketch was my favorite childhood toy. Silly Putty was pretty good too, but I digress. Etch-a-Sketch was great. I got mine before I was really all that proficient with writing my letters, and so I would sit there. You guys remember this, right? It's that red little board, and it's got the gray interior and the 2 knobs, and you could go up and sideways. And if you cranked the things, if you did them together, you'd get more of a swoop. But if you did it just herky-jerky, it was more like an angled thing. It was great. It was a great. And then at the end, after you were done making whatever masterpiece it was, you just turned the thing over and shook it, and it all disappeared. Right? The Etch-a-Sketch. This is exactly what House Republicans want to do with 17 million people. They want to take 17 million people, illegal aliens who've been living in this country illegally, many of whom 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years, right? And they want to flip them over and shake them like the Etch-a-Sketch and just be like, poof, you are now legal and you're fine and you can stay forever. They want to take this easy way, put a stamp on something, and not do the hard work to fix what they created. A border issue and immigration has been a thorny topic probably since the beginning of transportation to this country, right? And under Joe Biden, it became a total shite show. So the president closed the border, and the question is now, what do you do with all these people? Well, you've got 15 million, 20 million that came in under Joe Biden. Those people have to be dealt with. Democrats are snarling that. Don't fund DHS. Resist ICE. Blah, 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 right? Same thing as defund the police. But then you've got all these people who've been living here under the radar. Illegally, yes, but who've been here for years. Republicans now, 20 of them, including Congressman Mike Lawler from New York, think that the prudent move is to Etch-a-Sketch, shake them. Just be like, well, it's going to take a long time for us to process all these people. Let's just do this. If you've been here longer than 5 years, so before Joe Biden's open border, auto pen scandal, and you can kind of prove that you're a good person and you don't have a criminal rap sheet and on murderer and you've got a job and you can pay for your own health benefits, well, then you can stay here. You're not going to be a citizen, but you're going to have legal status. You're going to have some perks. I'm going to read you a couple things here before we get into this audio soundbite because I think it's brilliant and necessary. So under this Dignity Act, which is now somehow gaining more momentum than the freaking Save America Act, riddle me that. This is a path to legal status. And it says that people present in the United States for at least 5 years, illegals, can apply for non-citizen legal status after a 7-year probationary period. Requirements include paying restitution, some back taxes, maintaining employment, learning English and U.S. civics, securing private health insurance, avoiding public benefits, performing community service, and passing periodic DHS check-ins with biometric verification. How the hell are you going to do that? First of all, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And secondly, who's paying for it? Oh, I'm sure it's you. I'm sure it's me. We're paying for it, of course. Laura Ingraham, not a fan of this broad at all. Eviscerates Mike Lawler. This is masterclass professional. I've had enough. You swamp creature, Mike Lawler from Laura Ingraham. Enjoy.
Documented.
Yeah,
and no matter. What do you mean? How?
Yeah.
They're
I'm sorry
not,
to interrupt you,
they're
but
not legally here.
You've got to stop using
they're
the
not
cliches.
legally here.
Right, this in the shadows
They're not
line,
legally here,
I've been
Laura.
dealing with this for 25 years. I don't know what shadows you're looking at, but they're not in the shadows. They're working in restaurants. Some are. Others are engaged in widespread fraud in California.
Yeah.
But this idea
and
that
that's why
they're
this
already
bill,
given amnesty, they're not already given amnesty. Why do you come on television and say that? The president has been trying to remove people from this country. The only reason they're not being removed is because we don't have strong Democrats and Republicans to support it.
No, Laura. Criminal aliens, 100% should be removed from this country, period. And the bill provides for that. I don't want anyone getting a waiver. I don't want anyone getting a free pass.
It's in the legislation.
If you have committed
a crime,
if you have committed a crime, yes, I have, Laura. If you have committed a crime, you should be removed from the country, period. Number two, what we are trying to do is say, if you have been in the country for more than 5 years, in other words, if you came here during Joe Biden's administration, you don't qualify.
How do you determine that?
You don't qualify under this legislation.
All of this sounds great.
It's very clear.
A simple question.
It's very clear. You have to be in the country before 2020. Yeah, you have to be in the country before 2020. So anybody who came,
please. Yep. All right. Please tell my audience, because they're very smart.
Yep.
How does an immigration officer determine millions and millions, determine continuous presence, and tell me the considerations they take into account to determine that?
Well, look, if they cannot prove that, if they cannot prove continuous presence, they wouldn't qualify for this. You have to be able to meet the qualifications.
I just asked you a question. How do you determine it?
You have to be able to meet the qualifications of the program, and that means the Department of Homeland Security is going to they are going to make the determination, as they always have, based on the current structure and guidelines that are in place. But the bottom line here, Laura, can I make a few points? Because this actually matters.
Yeah.
E-Verify is part of the bill.
It does.
Okay, so you actually... and it's part of the bill. And we want to verify that every single person who would be employed in this country is here legally. If you're not verified, you wouldn't be able to lawfully work, and we would hold those businesses accountable. The bottom line of the Dignity Act is very straightforward. You have to be in the country for more than 5 years. You cannot have committed a crime. You cannot collect government benefits.
Okay, that's false.
You have to pay a fine. You must pay back taxes. It's not false, Laura. You must pay back taxes, and you must be employed. Okay. Those are the terms.
Here's
Those
the
are
truth.
the terms.
Congressman, you know how much I like you, but you can't come on this show and say to my audience that you can't have committed a crime to be eligible under the quote Dignity Act, because there are several crimes that are quote nonviolent that do not qualify for inadmissibility. And on top of that, there are multiple instances, including family unity, public interest, and just discretion on the part of immigration officers. I can't imagine Democrat immigration officers under a Democrat president in the future was going to hold this strict, we're not going to let any criminals in. Gang member affiliation is given wide latitude.
What they're going to do, What the Democrats will do if they get complete control of Congress and the White House, they're going to end the filibuster, and they are going to pass a blanket amnesty bill. That's the fundamental challenge here. What we are trying to do is say, if you came under the Biden administration, you don't qualify. If you have committed a crime, you don't qualify. And here's the thing about legislation, Laura. You understand this better than most.
it's totally not true, she says. It's totally not true. So what he's saying about this E-Verify, it's going to be incumbent upon employers to verify that the people applying for jobs are legal residents. How many people want to go through those hoops? It's always incumbent upon somebody else to do the job that Congress is unwilling to do. And why would we ever think that granting 17 million people who broke our laws to be here, who decided not to follow the path to citizenship, why are we rewarding them by saying, well, you know, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of backlog, but if we do this one thing real fast, we'll just etch a sketch shake and the problem goes away. It's a fresh slate. Bingo. It's magic. Now you've got 17 million people vying for jobs that my sons are vying for. You have 17 million people who need to have housing, or maybe anything in the world. You're going to tell us they're not going to get benefits if they can't get a job? If somebody who's here in this country illegally doesn't know how to speak our language, all of a sudden you're going to give them a pathway to legal status with the Etch-a-Sketch flip of a switch, and that's going to solve the problem? Who's going to process those claims? Who's going to do the background checks? Who's going to verify that the system isn't being fiddled with? It's another grift, ladies and gentlemen. It's all it is. And Mike Lawler, who President Trump freaking endorsed for re-election, just stabbed him in the back with a bill that basically undermines mass deportation. And by the way, who are the people who are here? All of them? No. But this woman is indicative of how some of these people feel about you, your country, and your generosity, this illegal alien.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes, for sure.
She'll see you in hell, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much to unpack there. Notwithstanding the gnarly fake nails that she had to keep tapping on the table. What is it about these liberals and that? I don't get it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Eric Swalwell is fighting for his political survival. And it's kind of delicious. Let's go next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. By the way, it's not my fault that Mexico sucks. It's not my fault that Somalia sucks. We're in America. It's not our job to provide safe passage to you and safe harbor. How about you get out?
What I don't understand.
How about that? Does that work for everybody? You out.
If you love that so much and you want to make more money, why wouldn't you figure something out to stay in your culture, stay where you quote unquote love, because you're living here. So you love all that.
Because there's so many ways to rip people off here. Right?
Our culture's better. Go back.
Bloodflow7.com, bloodflow7.com by Juvenon. This is something I would recommend, honestly, to anybody over the age of 40. I think that things start to happen and probably in your mid 50s, a little bit more accelerated where you notice silly things. And it's not the complete collapse of your body. Hopefully you're staying on top of things so that's not happening. But there are things that go on inside of you that you can't control. And you notice them when you're out and about. You're sluggish. Do you ever feel so weak? You're like, I can't even squeeze this tube of toothpaste. I'm like, ugh. You've got no energy. You've got no joy. Doing regular chores kind of wins you. You need to sit down and catch your breath. And you're like, what am I, 140? Well, bloodflow7.com changes that. I'm just going to say it. It changes it for less than $1 a day. bloodflow7.com/Wendy. It's already not expensive. And then they knock it down 30% because of us. Yeah. Yes. If you have not tried, try it. If you have not, if you're a man, and I know you that you are, you have testosterone and things happen to your testosterone as you age and it affects all aspects of your life. Reverse that and build it back up with stamina, strength, focus, all of it. It's called Alpha Gold Male. It's on the same site as this. And everything when you use Wendy 30 or you go to bloodflow7.com/Wendy, you're going to get that automatic 30%. This is the product that changed my world. This is the product that makes me feel like I'm not getting older. I mean, you know that you are, but I'm fighting it. And I notice it at the gym. I notice it on my walks, and I notice it doing yard work. Simple as that, babes. bloodflow7.com/Wendy.
Can I go back to your monologue
Mm.
with this girl that was just on Michael Likes Tampa?
The girl that was just on.
Yes.
That immigrant.
Yes.
With the fake nails.
Michael loves Tampa, likes it down there. So what's he doing? Figuring out a way to stay. That biatch, because she loves Mexico so much,
She's
and
trying
their
to figure
culture
out a
and their
way to
food,
weasel her
maybe
way
she
here.
should figure out a way to stay.
Michael's like,
Get the hell out.
I'd probably have to come up with $3,000 a month for an apartment, $2,000 to $3,000. And the thought of coming home and sitting by myself is not what I want to do. So I have a couple buddies who are down here and we might figure it out together. And he's like, and I know the clock's ticking because the girlfriend's moving in August and I'll have to get out. But he's got it. Like he's thinking about it. And then he hit me up for a raise.
I kiboshed that.
Then he hit me up for a raise. Right? You're learning, boyo.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there while I'm not getting a raise.
Yeah,
My
you're
$4 is not $4.25.
Yeah, that's right. You're not getting a raise. Bingo. Bada bing.
I told him we need to start union talks.
Then he called me a fascist when I cut him off. He said the same thing 3 times. And I'm like, I got it. And he's like, all right, easy.
Easy, you dictator.
Fascist.
It's like, welcome to Wendy Bell Radio.
Oh, the love I have is
Welcome to Wendy Bell.
just like yours for your families. You feel the same way. So nothing you don't already know.
I should have piled on with a raise.
Oh, geez. We're going to get into this. We're going to turn back around here and get further into this.
No, you guys
Dignity
are going to love
Act.
it.
Why are they introducing this right now? It's at the worst time when everybody's like, get them the hell out of here. Right? This is what they drop now. But you don't have any fervor for the Save America Act. Okay. And this Maria Salazar, by the way, she's got an F Liberty score, 46%. Yo! You didn't want to throat punch somebody and throw them down the stairs because it's been a bit of a time for me. Eric Swalwell might be near the top of the list. Look, this is sort of like in the same vein as what I was speaking to my sons about, right? Like you have to know these things. They're super frustrating to talk about. I hear you. But if we don't, it will not be covered. And then scumbags like Eric Swalwell will continue to harass women, get away with mortgage fraud, right? Where you want to spend $650 on a new washing machine on your Venmo, and that gets the IRS sniffing up your skirt, right? And then he has the audacity to submit that the safest place for him to be, which is in all likelihood probably true, failing further upward in public office and becoming California's next governor, which would be perfectly in keeping with what California deserves. And I'm sorry, because I know a lot of you listen in California and you're not down with the Democrat policies that have destroyed your state. I hear you. But the walls are closing in on this cat, and they have to. Look, what people do in their private lives is none of my business. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you cheat on your spouse. You're not my spouse, right? You do you. But when you doing you is criminal, I'm sorry. Eric Swalwell pushes back. This is the headline from Politico. This coming on the heels of that progressive attorney, Cheyenne Hunt, who's like, look, I've been talking to a bunch of women, and these women have worked in the orbit of Eric Swalwell. Some are former interns. Some are former associates, assistants in his office, his congressional office. And the stories that I'm hearing, and him making them sign non-disclosure agreements. So when he allegedly sexually harasses them, a la Andrew Cuomo, that sort of stuff, or Joe Biden with Tara Reid, right? If you believe that, and I do, well, you kind of get away with it. So Eric Swalwell now is pushing back. His political future depends on it. His campaign has stayed quiet for weeks as online rumors claimed, without evidence, that he behaved inappropriately with staffers and other women. That silence came to an abrupt end on Tuesday. Swalwell's team took to the unusual step of releasing a forceful denial of allegations that have been circulated largely by social media influencers, rather than people with firsthand experience of purported behavior or accounts vetted in the news media. First of all, the media don't vet anybody. They push the propaganda, so suck it. The statement from spokesperson Micah Beasley, which was first reported by Politico, said the false, outrageous rumor being spread by opposing campaigns who had teamed up with MAGA conspiracy theorists. And you know what they did right after that? They called a Zoom meeting for all sorts of Democrat-leaning social media influencers. Why would you do that? If you've got nothing to hide, why do you call a bunch of people together on a Zoom call to get everybody briefed? Why would you do that? You wouldn't, unless you need to try to take control of the narrative. He didn't do that to anybody. What are you talking about? Non-disclosure agreements, why would anybody be forced to sign that? Oh, I don't know, because I want to feel you up or worse and not get busted. Quick, everybody, get on the Zoom. He's totally innocent. Got it? And break. Quick timeout. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we do not have serious people running our government. Proof. Maria Salazar next. Sounded a little maniacal. Maria Salazar.
How quickly they don't believe all women.
I'm telling you, and I said this to Brock this morning, I'm like, they've twisted themselves in knots. Like, there's no way to unwind from the various machinations, the twists and the turns and the lies. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's amazing how they change their stories on a dime. We're supposed to listen to Christine Blasey Ford about Brett Kavanaugh. We had hearings about believing, what was her name, Anita Hill, and the pubic hair on the Coke can with Clarence Thomas. Stormy Daniels became credible. E. Jean Carroll. Let's listen to her. Anyone that talks about Eric Swalwell, yeah, you know, it's amazing how they change their tune so fast. And I'm sure Jake Tapper will be right on that with the hard-hitting question of, don't you guys believe all women? No one will push back. Because that would be the simple, easy question. It's not a gotcha question. I mean, it is for them because they're completely lying, but it's a simple question. Wait a second. 2, 3, 4 years ago, you were for believe all women. Now, not so much. Got it. And this broad, this Maria Salazar, also took Trump's endorsement. Yeah.
Healthy Cell. HealthyCell.com. HealthyCell.com. This is my jam. I know I shared it with you a million times, but I think it's one of the greatest things. And I talk to my boys about it. I have to, because they have advanced placement tests coming up. So if you take AP classes in high school, you can take an AP test. It costs like $100 to take. But if you score above a certain number, that equates to 3 hours of college credit. So if you bust your hump in high school, Jack did it, Ryan did it, and hopefully the twins will do it too. They each got a free semester of college, which is like $35,000. It's pretty good. So for the SATs, I gave the boys focus and recall. I think Bobby was telling me while he was taking the test the first time, like somebody's car alarm was going off in the parking lot. And he couldn't stop focusing on it, and it threw him off. And I was like, I think you need something, focus and recall. What I like about focus and recall, I'm going to tell you what's in it. Boost your brain power with the ultra bioavailable blend of science-backed nootropics, neurotransmitters, and adaptogens and antioxidants in a sweet peach pineapple flavored microgel that you won't be able to get off of your mind. It's cute. It works. It works. I use it every single day. I take it about 45 minutes before we come on the show. And if you've got something that involves intense focus, you just feel kind of scattered, I'm telling you, this is such a phenomenal product. And there are so many. I think they have 15 different blends, everything from your heart to your, vascular system, your lungs, your hair, skin, and nails, even your eyes, your immune system. So many different formulas, bone strength, calm mood. Like, there's so many different formulations, and they're in these gel packs, which are much more absorbed by your body, which makes sense. So healthycell.com/Wendy. I love the products, and the REM sleep is the real deal. If you have a difficult time resting, falling asleep, staying asleep, getting restful sleep, and waking up and not feeling like a truck hit you, REM sleep. That's what you're going to like. I'm telling you, once you wash your hands, my tulip blooms, by the way, is like Sniper. So I've got Sniper in my car. I've got it in my bathroom. I've got it in the powder room. I've got it in the kitchen, right? I got it upstairs. Same thing with tulip blooms. I've got a little squirter jar all over the place, wherever I wash my hands. And whenever I'm done, putting a squirt on and rubbing it in is like, thank you. Everything is right with the world. Smells good. Huh? Oh my, you're so annoying.
What?
Yeah,
I said I have one.
You
Here
don't.
and one at home.
That's called two, jackass.
Wow.
God.
I'm all discombobulated.
Eric Swalwell. They have a Zoom meeting with influencers. Are you out of your mind?
Who's gonna Sisson, Harry Sisson, who also has been accused of being a creep?
Is everything about sex? Is that the motivator? Is that all that is the motivator?
For me. Yeah. I like to do it to this.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I don't know why you guys aren't paying attention to the commercial breaks, because that's the stuff that needs to be seen. WendyBellRadio.com. Download the show or follow the show on the live video stream and join in the conversation. We're just ridiculous. Hey, you have to have fun and make fun of something, because this ridiculous about face and complete slap against Donald Trump, right? We, just to make sure, I don't remember the number. It's what, 80 odd million, 78 million, however million of us voted for President Trump. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. We voted to get people out of this country. I don't care what that feels like to you. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I don't care. Get out. See, now, if sanctuary city folks, the mayors who suck, including the mayor of Pittsburgh, Corey O'Connor, you suck. Corey, I'm sorry. I like you as a human being. You're a crappy mayor, because the first thing you did was put out some woke garbage, little emasculated statement about how we refuse to work with ICE. You moron. So when some illegal alien breaks into your mom, Judy's house and holds her at gunpoint, you're going to be like, let that guy go. I'm sure he's a good guy. No, you won't, you moron, right? We wouldn't be in this situation if these people, the sanctuary folks, didn't show their cards every single day. And the card is, we value illegals more than Americans. Illegals over citizens. See, make America great again means America first. It means Americans first. And if you're not an American, then I really am not interested. Okay? We've come to that. Oh, that's not nice. Yeah, I don't care. Every single day I turn on the television here in the studio. There's another picture of another young person murdered by somebody who ought not be here. So all of these people, the 17 million people that this so-called Dignity Act, and they call it the Dignidad Act because that's Spanish for it. It's in a foreign language because it benefits foreigners and not Americans, right? All of you, I'm sorry. This is where we are. You've pushed us. So here is Maria Salazar. She's on this great show, podcast, with Dennis Michael Lynch. And what I like about Dennis Michael Lynch is it's not like he's like some masterful, polished, super great studio guy. He's a dad, and he's pissed, and he has questions that she can't answer because she's not critically thinking, because she doesn't care. She does not care. She does not care about how giving legal status to 17 million people and waving a magic wand, what that would mean to us. So let's get into this, because it's the whole give and go. And Dennis Michael Lynch says to her, Congresswoman, look, processing 17 million illegal aliens through your legislation, like, who does that? It's supposedly supposed to be done in 18 months. Who does that? If we just do the math, that's a hell of a lot of people to get processed. Who verifies that? Where does that money come from? Who manages that job that you're magically wand waving to get done? Here you go.
But I want to know how it is and who it is that is going to process these background checks on 17 million people.
Homeland Security.
Have you talked about how long this is going to take? How long does it take to process 17 million people when I've got, let's even just say, 50,000 ICE agents specializing in nothing other than the Dignity Act?
Look, I cannot tell you specifically how DHS is going to manage this, but okay, we give them 18 months to do it.
In 18 months, we cannot process 18 million people. That would be 33,000 people a day if we were working weekends and if every single person was getting a adequate check.
But you're concentrating on the administrative part, and then...
I'm concentrating on the background check. I am not going to be cool with giving somebody dignity when I don't know who that person is and why they're in my country.
Oh, no. I agree with you. But that's why I say no more than 5 years. You need to prove that you've been here for more than 5. With
I still
different...
need to know who you are, though, Congresswoman.
Of course that I need you to know that you're a Pepe Perez or Rosa. Of course, I understand. Yes,
and I just don't know how. I just don't know.
You just don't know how.
I mean, fairness. How am I gonna think about what 30,000 people is? 30,000 people is almost a full football stadium.
And you'd have to do that every single day in order to process 17 million people. And so he asks her, who does this? Homeland Security. Oh, Homeland Security, who everybody's been against for the last year, that's been defunded, that Homeland Security. And she's like, well, I cannot tell you exactly how they will do it. That's kind of important, don't you think? Well, how are we going to pay for that? Well, I don't know, but it's going to get done. No. See, the proof is in the details. Whether it's doable is in the details. She has none of the details, but she's got the Etch-a-Sketch. And she's like, oh, baby, I got 17 million. And Shazam, you're now all of a sudden legal. Well, Dennis Michael Lynch continues. He's like, so beyond the legal paperwork nightmare that you would create with this bill, where 17 million illegal aliens who've been living here for ostensibly longer than 5 years have to somehow drum up proof that this is who they say they are, which, by the way, is a whole new open door to fraud, right? Do you know what this legislation does to young Americans who are looking for jobs? This is your congresswoman who is the co-sponsor, Republican congresswoman, Maria Salazar, co-sponsoring a bill that slaps President Trump in the face. Listen.
So now if I'm going to give these illegal aliens 15 million, 17 million, you know it, the ability to go get jobs that now they can compete legally against my kids. They're already competing illegally against them, but now they can compete on a legal end. Now they're going to be able to go get a house and get a mortgage. My kid's going to have an even harder time when he's competing against an extra 17 million people.
I'm going to turn that around. You know, those 17 million people, most of them are helping for the supply of housing to increase.
By taking 17 million people and giving them what really is legalization, even though they don't get to vote, you are now putting 17 million more people in competition for the limited amount of housing that we have. And even if they all start going to build houses, which is another issue in of itself, but even if they start to go do that, we still have 17 million new people going to compete for jobs that are getting tougher to do, especially with AI, and competing against buying a house. And so all that's going to do is going to take the American kid, and I call a kid a 20-year-old, 30-year-old,
sure,
and it's going to put more. It's going to put more pressure and stress on them.
I see it completely different.
Yeah, because you're an idiot and you don't care about the consequences because you're a congresswoman, and it doesn't matter if you're Republican or a Democrat. You all suck. Right? And we're just particularly aggrieved by you because you co-sponsored the bill. You co-wrote the bill. You don't see anything wrong with this. Are you out of control? What happens to these 17 million people when they can't find jobs? You're setting them up to fail. Do you not understand that? What happens to them then? Listen.
So you explain this one to me. Let's say, for instance, I'm roughing numbers. Let's say, for instance, the guy on the corner was charging $20 an hour, and Jose has been getting 10 under the rug.
The table.
So under the table. Under the table, he's getting $10.
Yeah.
Is that staying like that?
No, because then now Jose, because there's E-Verify mandatory, is going to pay whatever the marketplace, whatever the fair market value is. And then the guy standing on the court.
So now he's going to get raised to $20. And then what becomes the case is that the guy who hired him in the beginning to get the cheap labor, now he doesn't have the cheap labor anymore. So now
that's correct. And he has two choices. Jose and the guy and your friend, the white guy standing at the corner. He has two choices now. But let's suppose that the white guy says, I'm not going to do this anymore because I have an opportunity to learn how to do, I don't know, x-rays. Or I can be, instead of outside in the roofing, I can be inside the office.
No, let's do it the other way. Let's say he doesn't want to go do something else. Let's say he wants to stay in what his trade is. Because why do I have to move the American guy, Maria?
Okay, fine. Don't move him. Then have the owner. I give the owner the possibility of hiring Jose, who doesn't speak much English, and Joe, your friend.
Yeah. And Joe is a master carpenter, much more qualified. Now we've got Joe and Jose. And
Yeah.
Jose's got everything against him because he doesn't have that one ticket anymore, which is cheap labor. So now when Jose can't find a job because the Joes of the world are coming back out and taking him when they're paying fair wage again, what are we doing with all of the Jose's who are now in my country, draining my schools, my hospitals, my food, my housing? What are we doing?
They have to, they have to pay for their own health insurance. You know that the federal law
How are they going to do that without a job, Maria?
Oh, well, then, it's then if they don't have a job, then they would have to go back home, or they would have to then do something. They would have to find a job, if not go back home.
That's how far she's thought about this. So if you are Jose and you've been living here illegally and you don't speak English and you've been making it by getting paid low wages under the table that have completely ruined the workforce, right? And now everything's going to change. Who's going to hire you? How are you going to be able to pay for your own insurance? How are you going to afford a house? And her answer is, well, then you just go home. How? This is how little these people consider things. So there will be no welfare for these illegals who can't get jobs. They can't pay for anything. And yet you're telling me that there's going to be no handouts to them? Really?
Are you telling me if he doesn't have a job, the only service that he's going to get is if he has an emergency at the emergency room? No other services. He ain't getting food. He ain't getting vouchers. He's getting nothing.
Food from where? Food from where? Who is going to give him food?
An EBT card. He's not getting anything. I'm asking you, does he get
food
any
stamps,
services?
No federal
Zero.
programs available. No Medicare, no Medicaid, no Social Security or food stamps.
So now I got Jose, who was poor to begin with, doesn't have any money saved. Jose doesn't have a job. He's lingering around for 30 days. And now what you're saying is, well,
if he doesn't have a job, then
we smoked him out. We smoked him out. He's out.
But he has the dignity in him. He just needs to go find a job. He doesn't find a job. Well, fine. I mean, then I don't know.
Then he has to go home. He gets no other perk.
This is how long they have thought about this. Not at all. So what happens when all of this falls apart? There's going to have to be a social safety net, don't you think? And in audio soundbite number 5, he says, you realize, of course, Congresswoman, that none of this adds up. In no way is granting legal status to 17 million Americans. Does it work for them or for us? And she still doesn't get it.
Your math doesn't work for the sense that if you're going to now tell them they have to pay their taxes, they're automatically going to be lifted to a new salary. And now what's going to wind up happening is they're going to find the same problem that my kids got. I got to pay taxes, Dad. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. I can't find an apartment. Apartments are $3,000 a month for 2-bedroom hole. I can't do it. And why can't I do it?
That's their responsibility, not mine.
But wait a second.
They could have 2 jobs or 3 jobs. I mean, it's like that's the average American person problem.
I'm Maria, and what winds up happening now is you are legalizing these people to work to go into more competition against American workers.
Oh my goodness gracious. You cannot make it up, which is why I say you've got to hear this crap. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we're going to talk about Marco Rubio. First, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but Marco Rubio deporting or restricting the visas of thousands of Iranian elite family members. Next. That's their problem. That's their problem.
Here's the kicker.
We're going to create a giant government program that's going to involve giant government money. It's going to have a whole bunch of no-bid contracts that nobody's going to know about. It's going to balloon into this monstrosity that'll be equivalent to Act Blue or USAID. Huge, right? There will be no accountability. It's going to shaft millions of people who all of a sudden will have no marketable skills. They will have absolutely nothing. They'll have absolutely no way to pay for anything. And then they're just going to go home. How are they going to pay for that ticket? Are they going to take their families with them?
You know how they're going to verify all these people and get all these people. This is in the bill.
Probably,
I'm not making this up.
Is it in the government system? Is it some equipment, some software?
NGOs are going to help.
Oh, so we're going to brush off all of the Catholic charities and all of those people.
And don't let them fool you. They want taxes. If 17 million people would pay $10,000 in taxes, which is next to nothing,
Meanwhile,
it's $170 billion.
Or what we could do is we could say, go home. Go in the way that you're supposed to happen. Do the time. Go.
What that guy failed to realize when he was making the reference to his master carpenter and Jose, a master carpenter isn't making a minimum wage. All they're going to have to do is pay minimum wage, and Joe's still out of a job. And then the Democrats are going to go like this, well, we need to raise the minimum wage. It's all a grift.
Look, guns kill people. We need to stop the number of guns out there because that'll change everything. Right?
This biatch also took Trump's endorsement. That's what blows my mind.
Yep. Health Revolution, you guys. I want to tell you guys about Health Revolution because I believe it is necessary. Particularly for people like my son, Michael, who are now out of their parents' insurance at age 26, you age out and you have needs. How do you get those needs when a lot of plans make you buy a bunch of extraneous BS that you don't need? That's how the bills get so big, huge deductibles, huge copays. Well, how about this? What if you could, what if you could get the insurance you need, go to the doctors you prefer, not have to pay copays, have nominal deductibles, and save 30 to 60% off of what you're currently paying? Sounds pretty good. And you don't have to sign up for all this other stuff. You get to kind of choose what you want, and they work around you. It's called a health revolution. It is. So if you're disenchanted with Obamacare, who wouldn't be? If you're on COBRA, if you're unemployed, if you're under the age of 65, most importantly, go to info.healthrevolution.net. or call the number on your screen, 800-868-6187. 800-868-6187. Take back control of your health today, right? Today. Health Revolution. Why pay for things you don't need, like maternity coverage? If you enrolled in the Affordable Care Act Marketplace plan, you are not stuck. You don't have to wait for open enrollment. It's now. You can call now. Get help now. info.healthrevolution.net. Look, I'm telling my son about this. I trust this. I wouldn't push him in that direction. info.healthrevolution.net.
And someone put it on the stream, maybe she'll rethink after talking to him. No, she won't. Logic. She's pushing an agenda.
That's how you got the U.S. Postal Service. Okay? Which is the greatest exercise of failure, government failure. This bill does not fix the immigration problem.
This is
no Etch-a-Sketch solution to erase generations of purposeful failure. There's a reason immigration has been an absolute debacle, right? There's a reason the United States Postal Service is a joke and a sieve of losing billions and billions of dollars. What do they have in common? The government. The government. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I have two audio sound bites I want to play for you here. First, Maria Salazar, endorsed by the president. Slap him in the face with this. Co-sponsor this ridiculous Dignity Act. And it's insulting, Maria, that you guys put it in Spanish. The Dignidad Act. No. This is her in 2023, Republican Congresswoman at the World Economic Forum. Are you surprised? And this is 2023. Are you surprised at all now?
Overhaul of the immigration system, because not only we need those hands, like the Congress, like us, a senator was saying, but we need to also give dignity to those people who are in the country. And those are the people that I represent. We're talking about 13, 15 million people who are, most of them Hispanics, I would say 85%, who speak my language, look like me, and sound like me, that are contributing with the economy of this country, and they live in the shadows. So it's time to seal the border, like she said, put order, let's see who comes in and who doesn't, and then turn around and give dignity. That doesn't mean path to citizenship. That means to include them and make them dignified members of our community.
Thank you.
Lipstick on a pig, babe. Still a pig. Dignity. The CARES Act. The Inflation Reduction Act, right? Please. I don't care about dignity because you know what's dignified? Doing it the right way. What's dignified is going through the channels and becoming a legal citizen. That's dignity, Maria. And quite frankly, we're tired of being the world's peacekeeper, banker, military, right? Everything. We're tired of funding everybody who wants to escape something else to mooch off of our system. By the way, Brandon Gill, kind of love him. Love him a little bit. It's the Clark Kentness of him. I just, but he says smart things. And this is what he said. This is the congressman from Texas. And he lays it out for you. This is what this Dignity Act really is.
Yeah, well, it's actually called the Dignidad Act. It's a Spanish word, and that's straight from the bill text. And it's written in a foreign language because it's a bill that benefits foreigners over American citizens. But this is an amnesty bill, plain and simple. What it does is it gives legal status to about 12 million illegal aliens. Not only that, but it says that it effectively stops the president from deporting illegal aliens because it requires that any illegal alien who is caught by immigration officials can simply declare that they've been in the United States since before 5 years ago, meaning that they're subject to the terms of this bill and they get to stay. So it effectively stops the president from carrying out his deportation agenda. On top of that, it allows illegal aliens under certain circumstances who have been deported previously and are in foreign countries to come back into the United States. So this is a mass migration bill that stops the president from deporting illegal aliens, gives amnesty to illegal aliens. Oh, and by the way, it also massively increases work visas and legal immigration on top of that. It's a massive betrayal of everything Republicans ran on last election cycle and everything voters elected us to do. And that's why I've been fighting so hard to kill this bill.
100%. Meantime, while Republican turncoats are showing you their true colors, President Trump and Marco Rubio are working to revoke the visas of between 3,000 and 4,000 Iranian elites living in the United States, living large. You know, you can't take your burqa off if you live in, or your hijab or whatever the hell it's called, if you're in Iran, or else get lashed or have acid thrown on your face, or I don't know, just be killed. You know, that's the way it goes. But when you're an Iranian elite, as your people are being held basically down and murdered, they're living at large here in Los Angeles, taking selfies, enjoying luxury. Yeah. Go home. You go, Mr. President. You go, Marco Rubio. When we come back, hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program on deck next. Do not miss it. I'm still discombobulated. Too many clocks, too many things to think about. And I was like,
too many clocks.
Well, it's going to take me a while to not look up there where the clock no longer exists. So yeah, all these pictures, the State Department revoking the green cards of Hamadeh Soleimani, Afshar, and her daughter. Yeah, you guys get out. Get out. You're not welcome here anymore. Loving LA, loving America. Get out. Isn't that terrible? I'm terrible.
Why is that? Listen, so this negotiations with Iran, if they break it, Trump does what Trump has to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to question it at this point, because the fact of the matter is, if someone came into your house, or not even your house, if someone started negotiating anything with you and you say, okay, I'll give you an olive branch, and they spit in your face, what are you going to do? that olive branch is going to become a fist, and you're going to start swinging it.
Mm-hmm. Simkovich Concussion Institute. You know, I never understood this. When was the last time you were injured and you were healed in a week? Right? It's usually you need surgery or there's some kind of a brace or there's physical therapy and that's like got to take time with it. And how is it possible that you can injure like the most sensitive part of your body, your brain, and you could be healed by next Thursday, possibly? How is that possible? It's possible because of Dr. Charles Simkovich and the Simkovich Concussion Institute. And that's not blowing sunshine. That's just the truth. They have a treatment protocol that's intensive. It's not because it's painful. There's no pain. There's no blood. There's no needles, no surgery. It is completely his hands in your face. He puts his fingers inside your soft palate, moves things around, and he can feel things that are not in the right position. He can feel where you are tender, and he can adjust things and move things around and heal you, heal your brain through your face. Yeah, it's exactly right. It's crazy, and it works. My friend who was there, Diane, said every time she was there, the waiting room's packed. A lot of Amish who go see Dr. Simkovich, which is a huge sign for me. Huge sign for me. He's a great man, and he is a wonderful healer, and you deserve to have your life back. Don't suffer. You don't have to. 412-366-3700. 412-366-3700. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. It's the real deal. The real deal. I am fussy today. What's going on? How's everybody? Let's see what our numbers are like. 2.25. All right, here's a push. 4,800 people watching. Hi, 573 on X. I'm super excited because I know a lot of you who are on X also have a Rumble account. You bounce over and you give me a Rumble because you want us to do well. Thank you. This is the time you hear me talk about it and you're like, I know it's annoying, but look, we've slipped off of the leaderboard before because of this. And so it's your very cheap, costs you nothing to get underneath the video box. You'll see a little bubble. First of all, you'll see the red button and it says WBR Army. And if you slide to the right of that, you'll see another bubble with a thumbs up and a thumbs down. That's how you voice your approval or disapproval of the show. And we just ask everybody, you only get one vote a day, but like I don't want illegal stealing my vote in the ballot box. This is your vote for us. And so thanks. I see no reason why we can't come back this third hour without 2,500 rumbles. That's just me. So did it work? Did I browbeat anybody? Probably not.
Are we scrapping that report or do you want to go back to that?
Scrap it. Thank you.
You got to love that all the countries that these people come from. We couldn't do that to their country. You couldn't just go over to
so ridiculous
England and say, I'm now a citizen.
I've been voting in your elections.
I've been here for a cup of tea, a spot of tea, and a crumpet, and I'm now British.
Oh, it's magic.
I was spicy this morning.
You were.
You're like, sounds like you need a mic.
Well, I get it. Yeah, I 100% get it. How's everybody? Let's see what our comments are. 227. Let's go.
That's it.
I know. We had like 500 the other day. What can I have you guys chitter chatter about? Do you think this Dignity Act is a smokescreen?
They passed it during the Iran war. They know no one's going to cover this. That's why we're taking sound bites from podcasters. Fox will cover it. No one else will. And what are liberals going to realize and Democrats going to realize? Voting Democrats, not the bungholes in Congress. When are they going to realize this? You want to talk about affordability, and that's your thing?
Why? Where's the money going to be for this?
Yeah.
17 million people, and they want to do it in 18 months. You know what? It's just putting it under the rug. Just putting it under the rug. We're not going to vacuum. I'm going to sweep it up, but.
And Congress giving anyone dignity.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'll give you some freaking dignity.
Yeah. Like they have any. Sex in the Senate. Dignity.
All right, 160 people. We can still do this before I come back. 160 people. That's all we need. This is huge. You guys broke that in half almost. A little thumbs up button. I hate them all too. This story doesn't make sense. This next story just does not make sense. The leaker.
There's something fishy about it.
I just, where's Scooby and Shaggy?
There's not enough Scooby snacks out there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they can't separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Man, do I miss Rush Limbaugh, don't you guys? Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio Program. Love, love, love him. It's so interesting when I think about how the mainstream turned on Rush Limbaugh. I've hated that man. Oh, the left hated him. And I never understood why. I always thought he was funny, and I thought he was respectful, and I thought he was polished, and he had so much knowledge. And it always made me feel like no matter what happened, it was going to be okay. And Rush knew how much power he had, which is why he never came out with endorsements. He never did. I miss him. I'm glad you're here. We're going to carry on as well as we can. I wonder what he would say about this story, because it just doesn't add up. And it's not supposed to add up, because it's one of those deep state, this is as good as you've got. Okay, are we all in agreement here that there is a level of security and silence that is expected among a certain echelon in the government and the military? Right? That there has to be a layer of knowledge that secrets are kept secret. And that is for the good of the country and for our national security, for that to be understood. I don't think that's of debate, right? And we all know that there have been leakers, from Eric Swalwell being leaked to by Adam Schiff. He was the guy who spread all the mumbo jumbo about Russia, that whole nonsense chapter of American history. There are leakers in the media, leakers in Congress, leakers in the highest levels of the military, right? I mean, didn't we have Mark Milley say he wanted to call China if Trump wanted to bomb or something? We're going to give him a call. Don't you worry about it. We'll call you in advance. What? I mean, if you've got traitors at so many levels of, it kind of makes it hard to know who to believe. And I hear you on that. So I want to talk about this story, open the door to it. The leaker who revealed a U.S. airman was missing in Iran has allegedly been identified, but I don't really feel like this is the person. It was reportedly a U.S. Army veteran and former employee of the U.S. Special Operations Command. Her name is Courtney Williams, who reportedly leaked classified secrets to a member of the media. Remember when Donald Trump was like, look, it shouldn't have gotten out. We have a leaker. We got to find whomever this leaker is. A plane, American plane, shot down over Iran last weekend, right? Led to that brilliant Easter rescue, resurrection of this guy, and truly a stunning display of CIA hardware, this ghost murmur device that allowed them to track him by his heartbeat. Crazy, right? And Trump's like, look, somebody leaked it that he was missing, that we got only one of the pilots back, and we're going to find out who this person is. They're putting out this ridiculous story that I find is ridiculous. That this woman who worked for 8 years at Fort Bragg with the Army's Delta Force is the person who's the leaker who found out that this pilot, what have you, was missing. And I want to read this to you from the Gateway Pundit. The FBI arrested a former Special Operations Command employee for leaking classified national defense information to the media. 40-year-old Courtney Williams of North Carolina allegedly transmitted classified material to individuals not authorized to see it, including a journalist, the DOJ said. She was arrested Tuesday. She was indicted by a federal grand jury yesterday. And then Kash Patel put this out on Truth. He said, FBI, or on X. He says, FBI and our partners have arrested a former SOCOM employee who supported our top-level military warfighters for allegedly transmitting classified information to a member of the media. Outstanding work by the FBI Charlotte division and the FBI counterintelligence and espionage team, as well as our DOJ partners. And then basically a warning, hey, a message to any would-be leakers. We're working these cases. We're making arrests. We will hunt you down and we will find you. According to federal prosecutors, between 2025 and 2022 and 2025, this woman, Courtney Williams, disclosed top-secret classified information in communication with a journalist via phone and via text messages. Now, this is where I'm kind of sideways. This woman was apparently communicating top secret stuff for years with this journalist. Does that mean that they think she's also the one who tipped off the media that this missing airman had not been retrieved by the U.S. military? I don't know. And I'm not sure what we're to believe, but WRAL television broke this story yesterday. We have two of these reports, and I want you to listen and think about what you believe is going on here. Here's the first one. Breaking news of Courtney Williams facing federal charges for leaking top secret details about the workings of the Army's Delta Force. Listen.
A retired U.S. Army Special Operations veteran is facing a federal charge for sharing classified national defense information for a book on Fort Bragg. According to court documents, an investigator with the FBI says Courtney Williams shared information about the unit's tactics, techniques, and procedures. The lawsuit says Williams violated federal law by sharing that information with a journalist. Now, that journalist, Seth Harp, called Williams a brave whistleblower, calling it a, quote, vindictive act of retaliation since Williams spoke out about sexual harassment and gender discrimination.
Now, I'm completely confused here. Are they just finding somebody who's a top, has a security clearance, who's been leaking to this guy, this apparent reporter? Does this have anything to do with the pilots that were shot down, or is this some weird cover story? Apparently, this Courtney Williams woman is a veteran, and she alleges that in her position, she was sexually harassed, and she sued the Department of Justice, got some sort of settlement, and apparently this journalist guy is writing a book about stuff that's going on at some of these military installations, this Delta Force. Are they covering up drug deals, murders? What's going on? He writes a book. Trump comes out over the weekend, is like, we've got a leaker. Is this what's leaking? I don't know. WRAL continues. a little bit more in depth on the connection between this veteran, the alleged leaker, a disgruntled U.S. Army veteran, and this journalist named Seth Harp, who wrote a book that she apparently gave him all the details of. Listen.
For 8 years, Courtney Williams worked in the Army's Delta Force at Fort Bragg, behind-the-scenes work to help maintain cover for one of the military's most secretive groups. But now she's being accused of leaking top-secret information to a journalist that could have put soldiers' lives at risk. Williams was quoted in Seth Harp's book, The Fort Bragg Cartel.
My book is critical of these institutions because I think that waging war in secrecy for 20 years gives rise to a host of cultural problems that spill over into communities like Fayetteville.
WRAL interviewed Harp about the book in October. Williams was quoted extensively when referring to a toxic work environment within Delta Force, where she claimed she was sexually harassed and discriminated against while also sharing information about work she would do. A criminal complaint filed today indicates she had concerns about how Harp's reporting could affect her, telling her mother, "I might actually get arrested," and also telling Harp, "I would definitely have been concerned with the amount of classified information being disclosed." She continued, saying in part, "I'm taking deep breaths, but have a feeling this is going to be more of a nightmare for my children than not." Harp declined an interview but sent me a statement calling this a vindictive act of retaliation and saying in part, "Former Delta Force operators disclose national defense information on podcasts and YouTube shows every day, but the government is going after Courtney for the sole reason that she exposed sexual harassment and gender discrimination in the unit."
I feel like you and I are watching an episode of Jerry Springer. We've got some sordid thing going on, and somebody sued the Department of Justice and then decided to leak information about it. She just got nabbed for that. And it's sort of like that has nothing to do at all with the leaker President Trump was talking about. Who was it who told somebody in the media that CNN then ran with that an American airman hadn't been rescued? Who was it? Because the journalist who apparently first broke the missing airman story has now stepped forward after President Trump's alleged threat and says, "I'm not going to tell you who my sources are." Apparently, it's an Israeli journalist. An Israeli journalist has come out and admitted to being the first to drop the bombshell details on the second missing U.S. airman in Iran. Why? So this guy comes forward and he's like, "Look, I'm an Israeli journalist. People know who I am. I broke the story, but I'll never tell you who my sources are." And then you got this other story about this woman who is upset about being sexually abused, allegedly, as she was serving in the Army, blowing the whistle, and now she's getting arrested for being a leaker. Where does it all connect? I don't know. But I know you and I are supposed to walk away and be like, it's just too convoluted. It's like 17 million people who broke the law to get here many years ago. Let's shake the Etch-a-Sketch. Make it go away. It's so much better than talking about it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. And we're not supposed to know. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it's all so tiresome. Did you hear Al Sharpton tell black people they shouldn't be celebrating America's 250th birthday? Yeah. I'll tell you why next. Like, so what's going on, Brock? It's two separate stories. It's one story.
It's two separate stories.
Two separate stories, but we're going to give you a leaker. Donald Trump said there was a leaker. We're going to give you a story headline of a leaker. Oh, they got that leaker. No, that's not the one he was talking about. He wants to know who inside the highest echelons of our government gave, whether it was this Israeli journalist or not. And this guy is like, yeah, it was me. I was the one who got that. I'm not going to tell you who gave it to me, though.
I can go totally tinfoil on this and say Israel wants to keep bombing.
Israel doesn't want to stop any more than Lindsey Graham wants it to stop.
Right. So
what can we do?
If that now I have no proof.
And this reporter apparently is in tight with Bibi.
If that guy's found dead, Trump bombs. I don't know. Maybe I'm going Tucker Carlson on that one. I don't know. But
did your father work for the CIA?
Yeah. No. No.
Let me say something real. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Real quick. New York Post. Eligible young men will automatically be registered for the U.S. military draft later this year.
Yeah.
We already are.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of headline is that? That's garbage.
Isn't that 18th birthday? Yeah, my son's. I'm gonna have 5 of those people here in another 2 months.
I mean, come on, man.
I agree. GLP-1 gold. You know what? There are a lot of things that people feel like they don't have control over. When you feel like no matter what you do doesn't move the needle with your weight loss, no matter how much you starve yourself, how much water you drink, or how much celery you eat, it's not moving the needle. And you feel like you have lost control of a key element of your life that you'd like to fix. It's extraordinarily defeating. And this is like reason 7 million that I enjoy my partnership with Juvenon, bloodflow7.com/Wendy, because they hone in on, without using pharmaceutical products that involve a prescription pad, they create formulas that help do amazing things. Blood Flow 7, right? Nitric oxide, blood flow. Oh my gosh, stamina, strength, endurance, brain acuity, all of it. Wow. GLP-1 gold. I'm telling you what, helps you with the natural assist to the hormone GLP, which connects with your brain and tells your brain that you're not hungry anymore. That is how people lose weight on those shots. Wegovy, Mounjaro, whatever they all are. A lot of people don't want to take those. And so our friends at bloodflow7.com, Juvenon, put this together. And for less than $1 a day, then 30% off is a huge deal. You get this assist. You get a personal assistant in your pocket saying, you're not going to be hungry for a little while. And lo and behold, when you're not hungry, what happens? You don't eat. You're not ravaged by cravings, all the noise of food, sweets. GLP-1 gold is what it's called. Read about it. Go to bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Remember, everything there, 30% off, which is why I go.
Here's another
common sense, good for you help that's not going to break the bank and doesn't have terrible side effects. Okay, I'm in.
Here's another thing, real quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's so important she's on with Alex Jones. But then turns around and she's so important because she's on with CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing to see here. She's got.
Mm-hmm. Program. I think back to my son, Michael, 26 years old, speaking directly to him. You guys have been through so much ridiculous mumbo jumbo, this wokeification, this complete crazy town ridiculosity. And I'm so sorry for that. I've been pushing back against that, Michael, I swear to you, ever since it first came out. I've been struggling to tell the truth. I've been doing the extra work. I went to the CDC website every single day, hours on end, son. You didn't watch me do that. You were in college, but I did that so I could provide a voice of calm and reason. No, children are not vectors of disease. No, people aren't dying dropping like flies because of this. I understand what you've gone through. It's been crazy. And I'm sorry. And there are still some institutions and places that you need to avoid that are not worth your time because they don't understand that we're smarter than the woke identity BS, which, by the way, has gotten us a lot of trouble. You got a lot of young women out there who don't understand the respect of a young man instinctively opening a door for you. I can open my own door, right? You don't understand that there's nothing quite like being appreciated for being the singular magical thing you could be to your family, the provider of life. I don't need to be a man's wife. I don't need to have a baby. Why do I need to have I don't need to get married. And then all of a sudden, what happens is the calendars race forward and you're 46, living alone with cats. Michael, I understand how you feel about this world, and I get it. But it's up to these people to realize that we're done. And USC apparently doesn't realize that we are done. First of all, I don't even know what non-binary means, and I don't care. I'm not playing your stupid vernacular guessing games. I don't know what transgender, pangender, questioning, unisex, all sex, whatever the sex. What are you talking about? You're a boy or a girl. You're a man, you're a woman. And if you're a liberal, you probably need counseling. USC bans men. Bans men from parts of gyms to make women and non-binary students feel comfortable. Well, non-binary students, I guess, feel fluid. They can kind of be whatever they want. And all they know, even though they don't know who they are or what they want, is they know that a man threatens them. Get the hell out of here. USC, you suck. How about that? A California college has banned men from using certain areas in its gyms to make non-binary students and women more comfortable. Well, you deserve to live penniless, alone, and in a feline fashion, if this is who you are. The University of Southern California has adopted a policy suggested by a radical LGBTQ activist group, shocker, to institute the ban. The activist group, Student Assembly for Gender Empowerment, SAGE, demanded the new rule for the school's Lions Center. SAGE describes itself as a programming, assembly, and intersectional feminist organization under the student government, committed to uplifting all voices oppressed by the patriarchy. Give me a break. You know what that's code for? It's code for you're lazy, you prefer being a victim, you're probably fat, you probably have multiple colored hair, and you're a loser. Okay? That's who you are. You're a loser. If this is how you make your waves, I don't feel safe in the gym. I highly doubt you're going to the gym, sweetheart. You're probably going to get another 6-pack of beer and some more Chick-fil-A or whatever it is you're eating. Stop it. And by the way, Al Sharpton wants you guys to believe, if you're black, that the celebration of America's 250th birthday is not something for you. It's racist. Okay? This is where we are. These people still believe that you care about what they say and that you should be like, oh, right? Stop it. It is as ridiculous as this dumb Dignity Act. We need to give dignity to people by making you pay for something that's completely inconceivable and unattainable. But if we give it a cute little name, a cute little acronym, we care. We're empathetic. We love you. All are welcome. No, apparently not men. If you're a dude, you're not allowed to go into the student center and use the gym around certain people. That's disgusting. You know what it reminds me of? That reminds me of, oh my gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank on his name. The Steeler who was a Green Bay Pack, Aaron Rodgers. Remember when Aaron Rodgers, his doctor told him, look, we looked at the profile of this vaccine. It's not good for you. You cannot get the vaccine. It's got too many things that are going to be problematic for you. And so he didn't get vaccinated. So what did the Green Bay Packers do? Oh, they didn't stop and look at the policy and look at the vaccine and look at their own ideas. They basically banished their star quarterback. He had to sit in the car. He had to wear a band. How's that different than a yellow star? When we go back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I know I'm fussy. So much more. Don't go anywhere. I'm looking all over for the time. I'm so stupid. Al Sharpton telling Black Americans not to celebrate the 25th. Okay. All right. And you know what you should also do? You should all sit together, all talk together, be segregated, segregate yourselves from all the white people, right? Stop it. Stop it. His fussiness has now come over on me.
Oh, I knew I'd get blamed.
Morgane's Fitness. Kelly Morgan, Morgane's Fitness. This is my attitude about these weight loss products that we have. The couple that we do that have, like, think about Lean, Dr. Gundry, Blood Flows, GLP-1. These are for people who have significant weight they want to lose. So if you lose the weight, but you're not exercising at the same time, what happens to your skin and your muscles? It doesn't work. You're just like, you lose flesh, meat, but you still got skin. Well, if you're working out as you're losing weight, and this is what's brilliant about the 90-day Ignite program. Kelly says, give her 90 days. She'll teach you about the right foods, the right quantities, and she'll teach you how to exercise. You're going to show up every day and you're going to do something. 90 days. And at the end of the 90 days, in conjunction with these weight loss products that we have, why would you not be 30 pounds lighter or 40 pounds lighter and look fantastic? Kelly Morgan, Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. It works. It works. And the before and after pictures are freaking stunning. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So someone says, doesn't Wendy wear a watch? So, yes, but I know what they mean because you're saying look in the clock. We go down to the seconds here, and most watches don't have that, and you look ridiculous going like this.
And beyond that, I have to hit these things because the radio stations have to fire.
That's what I mean.
things
We
at
go
certain
down to
times.
seconds.
So I've got it here, and our clock is ahead of yours because he's got a button he can push if I swear or
Yes,
something
delay
happens, a delay button. So he's got cover. So if there's somebody who says something and he doesn't catch it until it hits the air, he can dump it and you don't hear it. So we're actually 10 seconds. I've already said this before you've seen it. Sort of. Not really. Anyhow, this NASA thing. Can I just tell you again how much I love JD Rucker? I'm going to say this.
This is a huge, she said this to me this morning, and I says, you need to text him because this is a huge compliment. Huge compliment. I don't hear you say this very often.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. JD Rucker is hands down the best journalist right now going. The best journalist. His detail, but his ability to get into detail without getting lost in the weeds. Like, I love John Solomon, but his site, Just the News, it's like if there's a story, it's like 7,000 pages long. JD can give you historic significance, context, and look ahead at what's coming with interesting verbiage and style. And he's just badass.
I think he has his own Substack.
He does. I'm telling you. This is the third time in 2 weeks that I've read something that he's written, but it's really, really good. Based Underground is where I'm reading this. Yep, that's what it's called. Based Underground. He is just, and you're better after you hear what he writes.
I think you guys agree. You guys stuck around. God bless you. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
You guys stuck around when he was filling in, which he will be again. So, and he absolutely loves you guys.
It's the greatest audience ever.
Yeah, if I even bring it up, done.
Greatest audience ever. I love you. 245.
I'm sure he loves working with me.
350. Can we get to, or 250? Can we get to 2.7? That's like my new magic number.
Yeah, and if you're listening after we're live,
you can still hit Rumble.
Still counts.
Your Rumble counts.
Yeah.
Make sure you do it.
Yell at them for a little bit. I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
No, I know it's a thin line, fine line, and I don't like to browbeat, but it's so vital to us. You just don't know. It's the equivalent of you paying a monthly subscription somewhere, but it's free. It just requires one click every day. That's it.
So when you're doing this and looking for sponsors, one of the first questions they ask is, what's the interaction and how many views do you get? And, how are your people?
Yeah.
Those are the three questions. Everyone that I've talked to that has wanted to advertise, all the same questions.
And what's great about Rumble is I think they call it their like top 30. And they have 30 that they really
white glove.
And we're in there.
Yeah. You get the white glove treatment.
Because of you guys. I'm hopeful that Michael doing more now. He's putting up shorts. So our Rumble page, you're going to see things pop up, and I hope you look at them and I hope you like them. He's going to take what he does for us on social media and he's going to do it on Rumble. Little small snippets of what we do every day. Maybe he'll parlay that into full-time employment at Rumble.
Wow.
Moms can be deviant. So I'm working out at the gym today, which is basically the garage of a neighbor of mine. She and her wife are both personal trainers and they're wonderful people. And my trainer's wife is working with this gentleman and she's like, Monty, so do you believe what Wendy believes in UFOs and aliens? And he looked at me like he was waiting for the punchline. And I was waiting to see what his response was. And he was like, really? And I was like, absolutely, 100%. 100%. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm in. I'm down with it. I 100% believe in that. He's like, really? I'm like, mark my words, write it down in your ledger. This is the day it happened. It's all going to come out. Everything you've seen in movies, all of that, I believe in it. I believe it's real. He's sort of like, good luck with that. And I was like, look, a lot of people aren't talking about this. This is not mainstream, I don't believe, by and large, and we need to keep it so. So the mysterious disappearances and deaths of scientists connected to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory is now 9. We thought it was bad at 6, and then it came to 8. Now we're at 9, and 3 of the scientists had close ties to Michael David Hicks at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, or participated in NASA missions there. Who's Michael David Hicks? Well, he's this 9th guy now, who died a couple of years ago. And our friend, JD Rucker, who's, I'm just going to say, the best journalist out there, he puts it on his Substack, basedunderground.com. Look, if you want to get something, this is worth it. And this is what he writes. He says, the dead scientist's story must not go away. You guys, something super suspicious is going on here. And even Scooby and Shaggy could have figured this out, right? In the geometry of American defense research, and this is so educational, this is what I love about him. 3 cities form the backbone of the nation's most classified aerospace programs. Southern California, where the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and Caltech's infrared processing centers anchor NASA's planetary work. Albuquerque, which is home to Kirtland Air Force Base and Sandia National Labs. And Dayton, Ohio, where Wright-Patterson has for decades been the nerve center of the Air Force Research Laboratory. Since July 2024, at least 9 scientists, engineers, and defense-connected personnel tied to these exact nodes have died under unexplained circumstances, disappeared without a trace, or have been found murdered. Congress is alarmed. The FBI is involved, and the institutions that lost these people have, in nearly every case, said as little as possible. That silence is the first thing that demands explanation. How right is that? Consider the deaths themselves. Monica Jacinto Reza, a NASA aerospace engineer and co-inventor of Mondaloy. It's a family of nickel-based superalloys designed to withstand oxygen-rich environments and extreme heat in rocket engines. Well, she vanished on June 22nd of 2025 while hiking with friends in the Angeles National Forest. Despite searches involving helicopters, drones, and canine units, only a beanie and lip balm were recovered. Her body has never been found. Melissa Casillas, an administrative assistant at Los Alamos National Laboratory, disappeared just 4 days later, last seen walking alone on Highway 518 near Talpa, New Mexico. Carl Grillmeyer, an astrophysicist at Caltech's Infrared Processing and Analysis Center, who spent nearly 30 years validating data pipelines for detecting Earth-threatening asteroids, was shot dead on the front porch of his home in California, in Llano, California, on February 16th of this year. Retired Major General William Neal McCaslin, who once oversaw $4.4 billion in classified aerospace research and development and served as executive secretary of the Special Access Program Oversight Committee, the body with full purview of every basic suspicious alien phenomenon in the Department of Defense, vanished from his Albuquerque home on February 27th, 2026, leaving behind his phone and his glasses, but taking his wallet, his boots, and a .38 revolver. Nuno Loureiro, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center and a leading researcher in nuclear fusion and nonlinear plasma dynamics, was fatally shot at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts on December 15th of last year. Jason Thomas, assistant director of Novartis Institutes of Biomedical Research with active Department of Defense contracts, was reported missing on December 13th of last year and found dead in a Massachusetts lake 3 months later, just in March of this year. Each case taken alone might be explained away. Taken together, they compose something harder to dismiss. The natural response of a prudent mind is caution. Coincidence exists. Defense researchers live in the same country as everyone else and are not exempt from homicides, accidents, or suicides. Several analysts have noted that available reporting does not establish a verified coordinated campaign, and that coincidence, occupational risk, or unrelated criminal acts could explain parts of the pattern, which is true if you believe in coincidences. Some of these deaths have clear explanations, but that doesn't mean they're not manufactured to look disconnected. The deaths at Wright-Patterson on October 2025, involving an Air Force acquisition manager, his wife, and a 25-year-old operations analysis officer, appear to have been the result of a murder-suicide captured on surveillance cameras. The murder of Loureiro has been connected to a suspect with a prior shooting at Brown University. But the argument from coincidence weakens considerably once you examine what these individuals actually knew and who they worked for, and once you notice what their institutions chose not to say. The Sentinel Network, which has tracked the professional connections between these individuals through patent filings, congressional testimony, a bunch of records, and federal contract databases, argues that this is not a loose collection of people who happen to work in defense, but one documented system, traceable through institutional linkage. Reza vanished in Los Angeles County. Grillmeyer was killed in Los Angeles County. Both worked in the shadow of the Caltech corridor where America's planetary defense infrastructure is built. McCaslin vanished in Albuquerque, home of Kirkland Air Force Base in Sandia. The Wright-Patterson deaths occurred in Dayton, South Carolina, New Mexico, and Ohio, right? The precise triangle where all of this stuff, this whole world operates. And at each point in the triangle, the same response from the institutions involved, the minimum possible disclosure. JPL said nothing about Reza. NASA said nothing at all. Caltech's statement about Grillmeyer described him as having passed away suddenly without using the word shot. Wright-Patterson offered counseling services. Right? It's like whether this silence reflects the ordinary bureaucratic instinct towards self-protection, genuine sensitivity, or overclassified programs, or something more troubling is precisely what we don't know. But it is a pattern within the pattern, and it deserves to be named as such. Why have we heard nothing? Congress has begun to notice. Representatives Tim Burchett of Tennessee, Eric Burleson of Missouri have both spoken publicly about their concern. Burleson requested FBI involvement in the disappearances, telling Fox News that McCaslin's case, in which a retired general apparently walked right out of his home, leaving all of his devices and never returned, is deeply concerning. Burchett, who told podcaster Betty Johnson that something dark is going on, added, I know these scientists and research. They've testified. We've got to get to the bottom of it. It's just too much. Too much is going on right now. And by the way, he said, I'm not suicidal. The last remark is not a throwaway line. It is a congressman preemptively distancing himself from the list of the dead. The question that haunts this story is not whether there's a grand conspiracy, but whether the American government, which has, in the current political moment, shown some appetite for declassifying what it previously concealed, is capable of conducting a genuine inquiry into what is happening to the people who built and sustained its most sensitive programs. The country has, over the past several years, inched toward acknowledging that its defense and intelligence apparatus has been less than fully honest with the public on matters ranging from the origin of certain viruses to the contents of certain programs at certain air bases in Ohio. The same apparatus now finds itself losing, through death or disappearance, an unusual number of the very people who would have known where the bodies, figuratively or otherwise, are buried. The Book of Numbers records that when men went to scout the land and returned with their report, the question was not whether the giants they described were real, but what should be done in response. The land was real. The giants were real. The question was courage. We are at a similar juncture. The depths are real. The science is real. And the connections are real enough to demand a serious accounting, not from partisan commentators, but from the institutions entrusted with the nation's security and with the lives of those who serve it. Whatever the explanation turns out to be, the American people are owed one. Right? So we have stories of leakers about sensitive things like missing pilots, airmen, treasured national resources like that. But we're given a story about a different leaker being arrested. Is that to confuse you and to make you believe that nothing's really going on here? We have 9 now, 9 people, 8 of whom died since 2024 when President Trump was running for re-election. And what did he say he was going to do? Be the most transparent president in American history. Are they just silencing the transparency? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's tie it up in a bow. What do you think? Next. I mean, he's got that triad, right? He's got the 3 points.
You mean the Space Force?
3.
Oh, did I just step on? Sorry. I didn't know that's where you were going.
That wasn't.
Oh.
No, the logo for Space Force?
Yeah.
Is that triangle?
It's.
Stop. Okay, I have nothing for this final segment. What should we do, Brock?
Oh, I thought you were doing Will Kane.
Okay.
No? You weren't going to?
Yes, that's fine. Who's
I mean,
this
I
woman?
did send you a text.
Oh. Is it going to hurt my feelings?
Of course. Don't they all? Yes, tomorrow is Bad Joke Friday, WBRBrock@gmail.com. Also, good news, WBRBrock@gmail.com or WendyBellRadio@gmail.com. Good news and bad jokes. There will be a pet show Saturday.
Somebody else wants to take our show. Radio station.
Where at?
None of your beeswax.
Maybe I just won't push a button for them. Not that I could stop them from taking the show. Give me a approximate area.
I don't remember. It's somebody who had us before. And, oh, yeah. And then I think her station flipped.
Oh, okay.
And then she wants to flip it back.
So Midwest.
Yes. The Heartland.
Yes.
I love the Midwest. Love, love, love the Midwest. I so have to pee. It's not even funny. 2.55, 150 people. This is it. This is do or die. I'm going to use the force. That's like the emperor. No, I need help. Help us. I love you guys.
Obi-Wan.
Help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope.
She's going to close her eyes, take off the thing and shoot the laser down the hole the size of a, what do they call them, wombat or something like that. I'm still starting to think Star Wars is a lot. It's becoming more real.
So Brock is correct. After reading JD's article, I was remiss in actually giving you the details that I had promised. And that's there's a 9th scientist now. This is interesting, though, because he might have been the first one, because he died in July of 2023. And again, like, a super suspicious lack of detail. Like, the dude was young. He was 59. Right? In my world, 59-year-olds don't just die. And their obituary isn't like just died suddenly. It's like, no record of an autopsy.
You'll find out tomorrow if there's a Sunday show. That means you have to come back on tomorrow to find out if there's a Sunday show.
Are we going to be able to test Rumble Studios? Do you want to give that a go?
I'm trying to get people to come back tomorrow to find out if there's a Sunday show.
Oh, well, I'm not saying I'm going to.
Oh, we could try it.
If they vote for it tomorrow, we'll decide. First off, miss in getting you the actual story. I beasered you at the beginning of the last segment. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I'm so glad you're here. Another scientist with ties to America's space program has now joined the growing list of deaths and disappearances around the United States. Michael David Hicks, a research assistant at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, passed away July 30th, 2023, at the age of 59, but the cause of death was never made public, and no record of an autopsy being performed could be found. Let's listen to Will Kane. Will and a couple of the others in conservative media have been on this story the entirety of the mysterious deaths and disappearances, and here's his breaking news.
Is now reporting a 9th scientist with ties to NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab has been added to the growing list of researchers across the country who have died under mysterious circumstances or disappeared. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the details. Hey, Kevin.
Afternoon to you, Will. Mike Hicks was a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, and apparently he died back in July of 2023 at the age of 59. But the cause of death was never made public, and no record of an autopsy being performed on him has ever been found. Now, on its face, that might not sound like such a big deal, but his is, as you point out, the 9th case of a person with ties to America's space and nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years, including retired Air Force General Bill McCaslin, who was reported missing by his wife more than a month ago. He'd been studying unidentified anomalous phenomena and potential non-human intelligence. Now, in common speak, that simply means aliens. And to be sure, the trend of unexplained deaths and disappearances is setting off alarm bells, both among national security experts and among lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
I think there's a message being sent in all this. I think we better be really careful, and it's more than 8. You take any other profession in the world, take car salesmen. How many of those have disappeared or died mysteriously in this in this country? And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of those. This is a very, very small group of people, and we better start paying attention to what's going on.
The great Tim Burchett speaking there. Another scientist missing, Monica Reza, JPL's Director of Materials Processing. She vanished without a trace last June, just months after beginning her tenure at the NASA lab. And perhaps most vexing of all, because of the nature of the research being conducted and the unusual circumstances surrounding many of these disappearances and deaths, we have scant new information, Will, about leads, though the investigation, we are told, at this very hour does continue.
Sheila, thanks, Bill. Like, right? He's at his central casting. It's not vexing, yo. That's not vexing. This is called serious. This is called, why isn't NASA saying anything? So this Michael David Hicks, who worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory from 1998 to 2022 and then died the next year, was credited with publishing over 80 scientific papers and was part of the multiple teams helping NASA understand the physical properties of comets and asteroids. While there have been no public allegations of foul play, Hicks' case marks the 9th person with ties to America's space or nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years. And moreover, 3 of the other scientists who died or disappeared had close ties to this guy, as all of them worked at the Jet Propulsion Lab or participated in NASA missions there. Monica Reza, JPL's new Director of Materials, she vanished, like we said, without a trace last June, just months after beginning her tenure there at the NASA lab. And 2 other men, Frank Mywald, shot dead. And then, of course, your astrophysicist or grill mayor shot dead, Frank Mywald. He died in 2024. What's happening? Look, the silence is the bigger story. If you're not getting actual addresses from NASA, from the government, from the FBI, from freaking anybody, I mean, what are you to believe? And what I am to believe is this president came out and he won on a transparency platform. And he said, we'll open the files. Let's find out who actually killed JFK, who shot JR. That's all I want to know. Still waiting for that. Right? And he said, we're going to declassify. We're going to open it up. Epstein files. He said, I think you're wasting your time. It's a big, a chase with no payout. But this, I don't know. But for Tim Burchett to say, I am not suicidal, we say that kind of jokingly, but how does somebody go hiking in the mountains with 2 friends and she's literally right behind them, walking up the, right? And then all of a sudden they turn around and she's gone. Not a noise, no evidence, no nothing. I don't know, guys. But you and I are not being told the truth. And somebody out there is killing people to ensure you never learn it. That's the scary part. What's the magic number? Is it 10? Is 10 enough? 15, 20? 17 million Americans. Amnesty. I'm sure that'll work out. I'm going to go get my Etch-a-Sketch. Have a great day, everybody. Love you. Peace.